What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 188 of the Tasty Cast, our weekly podcast where we talk all things gaming. My name's Seth, of course, and in this episode, we cover a lot. We're doing some catch-up on a lot of the videos that were showed after all of the showcases that we streamed throughout the week. Hopefully you had a chance to go check out the Summer Game Fest stream that we did. We did Xbox Showcase. We did Starfield, which a lot of people seem to be watching. Some people seem to be liking it. Some people seem to be upset with us. That's fine. So with that, though, there was a lot of games that were showed off after all those showcases that we cover on this, including 33 Immortals, which is an indie game where it's like 33-player co-op. We also cover Atlas Fallen. There's gameplay for that and co-op revealed, so that's interesting. We also watched the gameplay overview of Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, and then we cover extensively Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon gameplay that was showed behind closed doors at the Summer Game Fest, and then we have a video from Vati Vidya who explains what they saw behind the scenes in great detail. It's a great video. Definitely go check that out. His video, but we talk about the info that he gives us on Armored Core 6. We also talk about game releases because sadly this is the first Tasty Cast of the month. It's been a busy month between work and also doing those streams that we did last week that we have not had a Tasty Cast yet. So we talk about game releases. We also talk about what we've been playing, which is not a whole lot, but one game that I do talk about, I think you should definitely go check out. I'll just say this, watch the episode, of course, but it's the best Battlefield I've played in years, and it's not made by DICE. So take that as you will. But yeah, if you like the video, make sure to hit the like button. It helps us out a lot. It gets us seen by other people. Subscribe if you're brand new. Also, welcome the new subscribers we've got from the Starfield video, the people who seem to have enjoyed it. We got like 30 new subscribers, so that's very cool. Hopefully you enjoy what we do here. This is a more typical video we do, our podcast. But yeah, and then, share it. Make sure to check out all the links down below. We got audio versions of this if you like to listen to things on Spotify, iTunes, we're everywhere. And we got a Patreon if you want to support the channel more than liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribe if you're brand new. All that stuff. Discord if you want to talk to us anytime, all the time, and all that jazz. But let's just get into the Tastecast. What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 188 of the Tasty Cast, our weekly podcast where we talk all things gaming. My name's Seth, and joining me, of course, is Chevy. On my left, your right. Chevy, it has been a long last week of doing streams. We streamed everything from Summer Game Fest, Xbox Showcase, Starfield. We got like 30 new subscribers because we have like 6,000 views on the Starfield video. I know you guys are complaining. Some of you guys are complaining about the audio. I'm not happy about the audio on that video either, but go back and watch the impressions if you want to know what we had to say on it. But yeah, we did a lot. That's why there hasn't been any like official shows. Since then, though, been a long week. How you doing? And are you ready to have a more normal Tasty Cast? We're still going to talk about a lot of things that were showed off during that week.
Yeah, doing good. Actually feel pretty all right today, but right back to work tomorrow, so I'm sure that'll go right back downhill.
Oh, yeah.
If you aren't aware, we do a anime/TV/movie thing on Tasty Flicks. I believe there should be a link below. But
link down below.
We've been watching some anime today as well, which is always a good time. So
we watched some anime yesterday too. We had to catch up because of last week and doing all the streams. We watched Hell's Paradise, last 2 episodes of that, reviewed that. We just reviewed the last 2 episodes of Demon Slayer, and by last I mean the last. We just did the finale. If you guys are watching Demon Slayer, watch that. We just did the review of that in the whole season, and we talk about next season as well. So if you are an anime person and you like what we typically have to say about stuff, go check that out. And then we also did a reaction to the One Piece teaser trailer, live action Netflix show. And we both, I feel like, are coming from different perspectives on that conversation, but I think we had a good conversation about, what we're seeing and what we expect. And Chevy has a unique for me, perspective on it because he's actually watched the show, and I've only seen like the first season probably. So Anyway, yeah, check that out. Unless you had something else you wanted to shout out.
No, I was just bringing that up because how I'm doing, and I'm doing pretty good because I actually got to produce some of my hobbies this weekend.
Yeah,
So,
I have not so much, and we'll talk about that when we talk about what we've been playing because I've had a very busy last week between working extra hours, going to the gym, doing the streams, and doing the anime on the side, doing editing, uploading. I've been doing a lot. So, but I like doing it, so that's all good. But when it comes to sitting down and playing video games, it's been difficult for me. Been busy. Yeah, so with that, before we jump into game releases, I know it's like we're already halfway through the month and heading towards the end of it. We haven't been able to do a taste cast because of the streams. And before we talk about what we've been playing, real quick, we did all the showcases. I encourage you guys to go watch those if you're curious about what we had to say about them. You can watch our reactions, and if you skip to the end, I have them chaptered. We have the impressions part of it. Maybe you just want to know what we thought and what our takeaways were. It's always on those streams at the end, so watch that. I wanted to maybe discuss real quick what were your takeaways of the showcases as a whole? Who do you think had the best showcase? Who do you think had the worst showcase? We had Summer Game Fest, we had Xbox Showcase, we had Starfield, we had Devolver's thing that they do, Capcom, Ubisoft. I think that's the ones we watched.
yeah. I mean, overall, it was okay. There was some good stuff mixed with some whatever stuff. I mean, that's generally the case, but I kind of really felt like the polar opposites this time around. I think Capcom was probably the weakest, and not that it was necessarily bad as much as they kind of have released a bunch of stuff lately, so it was lackluster. Though Dragon's Dogma 2 is obviously exciting.
Oh yeah.
As far as like best, God, I don't know. The PlayStation one, just because I'm pumped for Final Fantasy 16.
Oh yeah, it's fair. I always forget PlayStation does theirs like a week or two before everybody, so. But it's technically a showcase because they're doing it around the same time. So
yeah,
they just always jump the gun.
That's literally the only reason, is because that game comes out in like a couple days and I want to play it. So.
Yeah, and there's a demo out I have not played. Apparently, you can play that and you keep your progress. So I guess it's just the beginning.
First
that
hours.
Is a very loud plane.
They're low for sure.
Flying over. I apologize for anybody listening. I can hear that. We typically
don't get that out here.
Don't get that in our location, so I don't know who the hell that is and what they're doing, but they gotta go. What were we talking about? Showcases. You were talking about PlayStation
16 demo.
16 demo. I haven't played it. I think you have. I'm sure you'll bring that up when we talk about what we've been playing to a certain extent. Probably not spoilery.
No.
Yeah, I know you're not going to want to do that. But yeah, I need to play that. Also, I think there's like Eliza P. demo I would like to try.
I keep seeing it compared to Bloodborne. I don't know anything about it though.
That's interesting. And yeah. So for me personally, though, it's very easy for me to say that I think the Capcom showcase was really bad. I hate to sound negative about that, but I really feel like they just did it because they had the resources and they had the expectation to make a showcase, and they did it. But they're in a weird area where they just released Resident Evil 4 Remake and Street Fighter 6 both being celebrated, and I think they're not ready to announce big titles that they're working on right now. Like, I would expect some new Resident Evil at some point, some new Monster Hunter, some new Resident Evil remake, anything they got cooking in the background that we just can't know about yet. I'm sure they're just not at the point where they can show that. And so we were left with seeing more of the same Dragon's Dogma 2 trailer, but we got some info about it, confirmed, so it was good. And then we got a lot of old mobile and DS ports coming for people who are into that. I'm sure that was very exciting, but wasn't anything for me.
It was a really long segment of the show, though.
Huge. And then the new Path of the Goddess game, I'm interested in it, but we got the exact same trailer. And it's their game, so why wouldn't it be in their showcase? But it didn't do anything for me. So yeah, it did just kind of feel like almost just kind of a waste of time. Also, they reminded people that Exoprimal's coming out, but like, yeah, it wasn't exciting.
With a
so
skin.
yeah. I forgot about that. So yeah, Capcom was easily the worst. I don't mean that as an insult to Capcom. It's just the showcase wasn't good, and it's fine. I know when they can announce some stuff, it's going to be huge. So because they've just been knocking everything out of the park. Capcom's on such a winning streak for the last like 5 years, 6 years. So yeah, that was the worst one. Best one, surprisingly for me, was Starfield because I think it was a really good showcase. It was a really good presentation of a game that I just have not had any hype or interest in, really. A very loose interest in seeing if it was going to fail or be successful in its launch. That video changed my mind on the game to the point where I definitely want to play it. I'm willing to take the risk, and Bethesda lets me down again. That's fine. I expect that. But if they make a game that I really like, welcome back, Bethesda. I don't want any dev to just be on my perpetual shit list. That's boring. So, yeah, I thought that showcase was really good. I was completely into it, the whole thing, and they said a lot of stuff that sounded really interesting, and I've heard a lot of people's feedback, whether it's over on our video here or over on TikTok. Everybody seems very mixed on it. People are still, I don't trust them, and I get where you're coming from. People say that they trust Bethesda no matter what. I get where you're coming from. I'm not there, but I can respect your opinion. And, some people are like, this game looks awesome, but like the NPCs look like shit. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's the systems that I think is the most interesting thing about Starfield that made it interesting. Like there's depth to the game that, the easy comparison to No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky doesn't have some of these systems, and so now the game offers me something that is worthwhile. So that showcase is really good. It was just a showcase of one game. So if I were to say what was the best showcase overall, that was like a multi-game showcase, I think Summer Game Fest and Xbox probably tie a bit in that regard. It'd be hard for me to pick one or the other because I think they were both good in a lot of ways, but kind of lackluster in other ways. Overall, this E3 season, I will probably call Summer Game Fest season now, was pretty okay. Shout out to Alan Wake 2. That was really cool to see. There's a lot of really cool stuff, and we are going to cover some of the stuff, including Armored Core 6 was not showed off at any of the showcases, but was showed behind closed doors to people. We will be watching that here on this episode because I've already watched it, but because I couldn't, and I wanted to make a TLG reacts to it, but I was like, I want to talk with you about it, so we saved it for Tastecast. Hopefully you guys understand, but yeah, we got a lot of Armored Core stuff to cover here. But yeah, the Summer Game Fest in general, everything that came out around that was fine. This was an okay year, but we are in a year where there's some huge games already dropping, so I think everybody's kind of rebuilding their arsenal of games to get us hyped for.
This year's wild.
It's too much. Like from August until the end of the year, it's just big games coming out that I have to play. So it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot for my wallet. I haven't had time to play anything lately, so. With that, unless you have anything else to say, let us know in the comments. What did you guys think of all the showcases? What was the best? What was the worst? And what were your biggest takeaways? And yeah, with that as well, we did reading your comments on one of the streams. I think it was either the Xbox. No. I think it was the Ubisoft or the Capcom showcase.
Whatever the last one was.
In the beginning, we did the reading your comments, so we will not be doing that this episode. So if you're missing that, you want to hear our response to your comments in past episodes, we have done that. Hopefully you can go check out that stream and see what we had to say about what you had to say. There have been some new comments over on the Starfield video because it's getting views, which every time I put out a video where the audio has an issue, those videos get views for some reason. So I don't know. Like anytime we have like
YouTube loves the scuff.
Yeah, anytime we have like good audio, which is most of the time, we get our normal views. But like anytime I fuck up the audio in some way, that video gets pushed up, and people are like, "Dude, audio sounds bad." I'm like, I know it does, dude. I'm not happy about it.
I think the problem is because there's an issue. It's getting more engagement.
That's a really good. That's a good point. That's a good point.
YouTube's like, oh, that's working.
Well, and I'm joking about it for the most part because there's a lot of really good comments over there of people just talking about why they're excited for Starfield. But I am getting comments on the audio as well, and I have to keep explaining. I'm like, dude, yeah, it's not great. I'm not happy about it. But just hop to the end on the impressions. The audio's pristine. You'll hear everything we have to say. If you're curious about what we have to say, and for the people who are saying that we talk during the presentation, this is the discussion channel. Like, if you want to watch that showcase and not have it interrupted by people talking, I would so highly recommend that you go to the raw showcase that Xbox put out and watch it. You will get all the information. And if you're still curious about what two dudes with our beards had to say about that showcase, you can watch our impressions and it won't be interrupted by the showcase. I've had like 4 or 5 people bring that up. Like, you guys talk during it. I'm like, do you want us to silently stare at this video for like an hour? That's not a reaction. So
I would say there's typically 2 ways reactions are handled on this entire platform. One is talking over it. The other is pausing constantly.
yeah. And I didn't want to do that because that's going to prolong the thing. It's a discussion. I assume most people coming into it have already seen it, or people who watch the stream.
Those people ain't going to see this anyway, so it doesn't matter. But
For sure. Yeah, they're not sticking around. I just want to talk about it because I think it's at the furthest point, like it's just funny to me that
yeah,
people stop, say that, and I'm just like, I honestly don't care. Like, I think it's hilarious. I'm not going to change anything for some random person who stopped by and whined to me. So, yeah, we talk about things here, and we have for years, and that's not going to change. So, yeah. So anyway, let's move on with the show.
Okay.
Next thing that we got to cover is game releases. This is the first Tasty Cast of June, oddly enough. And with that, we got to talk game releases. So this is via thegamer.com. If there's any errors here, it's their fault, not mine. I'm completely innocent.
I don't know about completely, but all right.
And so, as of recording, this is the 18th. We are pretty far into this month, but let's find out what happened earlier in this month when it comes to releases and get caught up. So, June 1st, we got Atrian Odyssey Origins Collection on Switch and PC. Also on the 1st, we got Skatebird, PS4, PS5. Then on June 2nd, we got Street Fighter 6 on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. No Xbox One, but we got PS4. Interesting. June 2nd, we got We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie. Rolls right off the tongue. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. That came out on Xbox One. You guys are getting some love from Katamari. June 6th, Diablo 4 came. I forgot that came out this month. June 6th, Diablo 4 on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. Then on the 6th as well, we got Loop 8, Summer of Gods, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. And then on the 6th, the last one that came out on that was Amnesia the Bunker, which I still need to play on PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. Then on the 8th, we got Harmony, The Fall of Reverie. Wasn't something else have Reverie?
Yeah,
that's just a popular title name. On Switch and PC. Then on the 9th, we got Grey Hill Incident, which is getting destroyed in its reviews on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. I was kind of curious about it, but also it looked not good. And then I watched some reviews and people are like, this game's horrible. I'm like, okay, I won't waste my time. June 15th, we got Layers of Fear. This is the Unreal Engine remake of the original on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Makes sense it's not on the last gen, considering it looks so much better. June 15th, we got Fall of Porcupine. I hope he's all right. On PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Then on the 16th, we got Park Beyond on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. And then June 20th, we got Crash Team Rumble on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series. No PC. Interesting. June 20th, Aliens Dark Descent. Oh, that's coming out this month. Great. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. And then on June 22nd, we got Final Fantasy 16 finally coming out on just PS5. I forgot that was an exclusive game.
Yep.
Not even PC? That's
not for 6 to 12 months.
That's crazy. Congrats, PlayStation. June 22nd as well, we got Harmony, The Fall of Reverie on PS5, Xbox Series. What? Why is...
Oh, it came out twice.
Oh, okay. I was like, no fucking way that's possible, dude. There's no way. June 22nd, we got Valtherian Arc. Man, what a name. Hero School Story 2 on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Then on the 23rd, we got Sonic Origins Plus on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Then on the 27th, we got Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, PS5, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Then on the 29th, we got AEW Fight Forever. There's no final in there. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Then on the 30th, we got Master Detective Archives Rain Code Switch. It's on Switch. June 30th, we got Crime O'Clock. I love that name for some reason. On Switch and PC. Then Ghost Trick Phantom Detective also comes out on the 30th, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. And then Front Mission First remake on the 30th as well.
There's a demo for that too.
Fuck. PS4. I don't got time for demos, let alone games. PS4, PS5, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC. And the last game of June is Everybody 1-2 Switch on the 30th for Switch.
I thought that was out already.
I thought that was out too. What's coming out in July? Okay, I just wanted to get a little peek. All right, what are you picking up? What have you picked up?
I bought Street Fighter 6. A little bit of a heads up. We'll be talking about that in a second.
Yeah.
I have Loop 8 on my wish list because it looks cool, but I don't know anything about it. So I'm kind of waiting to see reviews come out for that. But it's just a JRPG. Let's see what else. One of the few times I do this, I went ahead and I pre-purchased Final Fantasy 16.
Dang.
I don't like pre-ordering stuff, but I want it preloaded.
I need to pre-order that goddamn Armored Core 6 Collector's Edition. That thing's probably sold out already.
Yeah.
It comes out in August, I think, and I just look at that mech and I'm like, I just need that in my life.
You probably shouldn't wait on that, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I saw about pre-orders. I don't pre-order either, but that's one I'm like, fuck.
I believe that Sonic Origins Plus was that one that's like the 2D one or whatever. I'll wait to see what people have to say about it, but that's the Sonic, that I grew up with, so I'd be interested in that.
Or wait to play it on PlayStation Plus.
Story Seasons, or if I'm not mistaken, Harvest Moon. I have not played one in a while, so I'm curious. But I also bought Rune Factory 5 recently, and I haven't touched it yet, so maybe I won't pick that up just yet. And then I downloaded the demo for Front Mission First, but I have not played it yet. But I am keep my eye on it because I love Front Mission. Not like a huge fan. I've only ever played a couple, but I am loving the fact that they're remaking them. I feel like they're testing the waters, which is great. Yeah, hope it's good.
Same. And I also love Front Mission, but I don't know if I've ever played the first Front Mission, or if I did, it was like a long time ago. Yeah, I played 3 and 4, and I played the fuck out of those games. So, yeah, definitely a fan. Definitely want to check out these remakes. Yeah, so I am definitely interested in playing Street Fighter 6 when I have the time. You have it. I haven't picked it up yet. I do feel like I want to buy it, but I just haven't been playing games a lot lately, which really sucks. And so I've just been kind of waiting until I know I'm going to play it to pick it up. I have not picked up Diablo 4, but Sarah did, and so I've been playing that. We'll talk about that and what we've been playing, but I have had my hands on that. And I do maybe think about picking it up, but also I don't really need to now because we've been playing it split screen. Amnesia the Bunker I'm curious about. Apparently it's only like a 6-hour game, which is fine, but I like Amnesia, and this one is like in World War I. You're in a bunker, and you got like a revolver with like limited ammo, and you're trying to survive. And I guess it's like a little more dynamic. It's a little more freeform than prior one, so I'm definitely interested in that. Kind of curious to try out Grey Hill Incident, but I don't want to pay for it, so I'm not going to pay for it. But if you're the dev of that game and you want me to make a video about your game, you can send me a copy. I'll gladly devote a whole video to you. If you want to do that. But yeah, I kind of want to buy it because I've just seen the reviews and they're not good. Layers of Fear I'm curious about as well. That's another game that I would like to try, but I don't know if I want to buy just because I played the original Layers of Fear. It was fine as an indie horror game, but it's not scary. But it was like a fun little experience with a lot of cool visuals. I would like to see it in better graphics. I thought it looked fine before, so that they even did this kind of wild, especially that they're working on Silent Hill 2 remake. I don't know how they have the time to be doing this. But yeah, kind of curious. I do want to pick up Aliens Dark Descent because that is like a top-down XCOM style Aliens game, and I love Aliens, and I love strategy tactical games, so it's right up my alley. Final Fantasy 16, 100% I'll be buying day one. I haven't played the demo yet, but it is one of my most hyped games of this year, so I will definitely be playing it, and it will be up to Chevy to make that game of the month next month if he wants to, or whatever he wants to pick. No pressure. I think that's it. I mean, I would play Sonic Origins. I'm not going to buy it. I'm kind of done buying platformers unless there's something really interesting about them. And Front Mission First, I would probably pick that up. I do want to try the demo to see what they've done with it. How much work is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I might check it out there. I was thinking I have to like pull out the Switch.
No.
Check it out. And I see right here, I read it earlier too. It's on everything.
But the demo's on Steam.
But it's good to know because that's where I would like to try it out first. So yeah, kind of a packed month, but it seems like a lot of bloat in my opinion. So there's some big games in there for sure that seem to have already come out outside of 16. But
I would say Street Fighter, Diablo, and Final Fantasy in the same month is kind of wild.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of these games here that I don't care about either. So yeah, good month. Let us know in the comments what games are calling to you. What games have you already picked up? What games are you playing from this month? And what games do you plan on picking up? Are you going to pick up Final Fantasy 16? Have you played the demo? What do you think of it? Please no spoilers for anybody because the game's not out yet. That demo gives you some info that somebody who maybe choosing not to play the demo will not want to hear about.
True.
So let's respect people's wants to not have things spoiled for them as the game's not out yet. And apparently there are copies in the wild, so don't be Googling or on Twitter looking for Final Fantasy 16 stuff because you might see something.
Not that Twitter cares if you look for it anymore, but yeah.
That you don't want to see. Yeah, for sure. So, all right. So let's jump over to what we've been playing. Let's talk about the games we've been playing or lack of games we've been playing in the last month or so. Let's start with you. I only got 2 games to talk about.
Okay, I'm going to start with the easy ones because I can't talk about them until Plus Club. Played Jurassic World Evolution 2.
Nice.
For far too long because those kind of games you can't just passively play. So take that for what you will.
Yeah.
I played before filming. I was playing Trek Diomi.
I saw it. It was black and white.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on it.
And then I played 3 matches of NBA 2K, whatever year it is.
23?
I think it's 23, yeah.
Yeah. It's one of them.
And I have opinions, so that'll be nothing super deep, but I definitely had some takeaway from it, which is more than I was expecting. So,
was that the one that the last iteration we played, I think we liked?
I think so.
Yeah. It worked.
No, that was soccer, I thought.
Yeah. There was a sports game that I was really surprised. I was like, this is actually kind of fun.
And I think it was FIFA people didn't really
it
like.
Was.
Yeah,
it was FIFA.
Like, oh, bad, yeah.
Because like the tutorial was smart,
Yeah.
the gameplay was fluid, and I was like, wait, I kind of like this.
That's interesting.
Yeah. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
At the end of the month.
Another stuff I can't talk about. I've been playing Minecraft again periodically, time to time. New update came out 1.2. I think I talked about it last time. Maybe I didn't. I can't remember. But so I'm just gonna repeat myself. So if skip ahead if you don't want to hear it. But with the update came cherry blossom trees, which was my first goal because I am a hoarder in that game, and I had to fly 10,000+ blocks away just to find them because my server has to keep getting larger and larger and larger because I don't reset it, and so every time a new thing comes out I have to go further and further out to get it. But they're very cool. It is a pink wood that you can make pink blocks and stuff out of, and when the trees grow, petals fall from them.
Dang.
It's very cool looking.
That sounds cool.
An entire road that is just got them on the sides, and now when you walk down the road, there's just petals falling on you. It's great. They made bamboo be able to be turned into building blocks now, which includes tatami mats, which I immediately made as well.
So is this just like a Japanese update?
As a big part of it.
Yeah.
They added a new monster called the Sniffer. I haven't found it yet. Not monster, animal.
Sounds like a monster.
It looks like
I
a
believed
monster.
that as soon as you said that.
Yeah, they've added a few other things that I haven't really got to play around with yet. But there's new recipes that you can like change the appearance of your armor and stuff like that. I did find one. I haven't used it yet though, but they're in very specific areas. So it's definitely nice because it's encouraging to re-explore again, which I think is a huge part of Minecraft if you're not just building. So yeah, I found a jungle temple one. I can't remember exactly what it was for. I think it's either for leather or iron armor. Said that backwards. But I haven't used it yet. I just kind of got it, put it in my under chest, and went on my way because I was looking for the trees. Yeah, I still haven't done 1.19 stuff, which is like the ancient cities that are like below bed where bedrock used to be, in the negatives now, depth wise. I need to do that still, but the wither kind of freaks me out, and I'm sure I could look up ways to cheese him. He's been out like a year now, but I need to do that because there's stuff down there that you can only get there. Yeah, been cool. I also kind of took on this another project. I have a list in my house in that game of stuff I've started and I need to finish because otherwise I'll forget.
Like an actual list?
Yeah, like I put signboards up.
Oh,
put
interesting.
Down my stuff because I was like, I have too many little projects I've started at this point. But one of them being, there's this desert we were using to collect sand to make glass, and we were just flattening it, and it's hideous to look at. And so I was like, I have to repurpose this. And so I've been building a stone wall around it, and I've put a little bit of a road in, and I've built the beginnings of a stables. I'm going to just make an entire kingdom. So it'll take me, I'm sure, forever, and I may never finish it, but it won't be an eyesore anymore.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. So
yeah, I get really weird about that in any kind of creative game like that where you're terraforming and changing things up, and a lot of people just grab what they need and leave things the way they are, and I always kind of hate looking at it. So that's why one of the reasons why I always like move really far away from people when I play games like that, because like I want people to do and have fun whatever they want to do, but like I also, want where I can see to not look like, a war happened on Mars or something.
You wouldn't have to worry about that on my server because I'm pretty much, it's just me, Chris, and Rob. And Rob's far enough away with his giant hole. So
good. Rob needs to be really far away with that hole.
It's close enough for me to get to, but far enough that I don't have to really see it unless I go check it out. So, and then Chris is basically a train station, so it's not really, he's more of a go with you on your adventure kind of guy. So
sounds like
in
Chris.
That game. So
sounds like a Chris thing.
Anyways, yeah, the itch has been pretty bad to play Minecraft, but I have to be careful because that's a game hours disappear in.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I don't really play games like that much anymore, which sucks because I love games like that. But when I did, I'd always have these huge projects, and yeah, time just melts.
Yeah. When
you're working on something that you want to build, and it's like this process, and you're sourcing all the stuff and placing it. It's it really makes same thing when I like work on music, and just time just disappears.
Mm. Yeah, any creative endeavor really. So
yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else of importance to bring up with that. I don't think so. I'll try. If something interesting happens, I'll bring it up in a later episode. So, let's see. I played Street Fighter 6. Bought and played. I've got quite a few hours into it at this point. And I've only done the single player. There's so much to do in that game. So I'm just going to put this out there right now. If you're not into fighting games, this is a very good one to start with because it has an entire mode where you don't have to play with people. And it is very full. You get to make a character. You get to pick who your masters are. You learn moves from them. You build relationships with those people. You do quests or side quests. There's challenges.
Can you date them?
I mean, you can have your own headcanon. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life.
Fair.
So
people do. People got their own headcanon on everything. I talk with people and they're like, I think this. I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah. So like, an example, you can have like Ken's, uppercut with Guile's flash kick with Cammy's, drill kick, for an example, and that could be your character. There's clothing stores you can go to, get all sorts of stuff. It's very gamified too, because mid-combat you can just eat food to heal and stuff like that too. So it is like a little role-playing game.
That's cool.
It's just a fighting game in controls wise. So it's a lot of fun. I would totally suggest it to people who maybe are curious about fighting games but don't want to be like a sweaty about it. It's there, and then it also has the stuff to kind of like work your way into if you want to.
Do you know? I'm sure it does, but do you know if the online multiplayer has ranked?
It does.
Good.
And it does.
I assumed
you have
it
to
would.
do 10 matches before you get placed.
Okay.
So
because yeah, the idea of just playing randos is fun, but also if you're like getting placed with people who are because people are very good at Street Fighter, that wouldn't be fun to just get your ass kicked.
No, so you do 10 placement matches, and then it puts you where it thinks you should be. Apparently it's pretty good. I haven't done it. I'm kind of weird about playing against strangers, but I had in the beta I played with Chris, and it's really easy. There's cabinets all over the battle hub, and you can just sit down at one, they sit at the other side, and you can just play. And then anyone at any point can walk up and click on that and watch you fight too. So it's kind of cool. You can spectate
that's
people's
neat.
fights. Yeah,
Especially if like some like known or talented people are playing in that hub, it'd be cool to like, oh shit, go watch them fight real quick.
yeah, and there's like 500 instances too. So like you can find a room that has no one in it if you want to play with your friends really easily. So
Reminds me of like a Fantasy Star or something.
it's a lot like that. It's the same mentality. Also in that battle hub, there's a little arcade section that they rotate out classic Capcom games in that you can just sit down and play. It's
pretty neat.
Final Fight, I think, was in there recently, in the original Street Fighter.
That's worth buying the game alone.
Yeah, it's a full ass package. Like other fighting games, really gotta kind of bring it, I think, to make the price justifiable. So after this, Mortal Kombat is the exception because they also make full ass games.
Yeah, I think I'm really curious to see what Tekken does because like the graphics are good, but I don't know what features it's going to have. And Tekken, back in the day, used to be like a full featured fighting game, but it's going to have to evolve, and hopefully with this new one, it will. But also, like everybody knows Soul Calibur is my favorite fighting game. I think Soul Calibur has always been full featured, but the last couple iterations haven't really felt like it's making the right moves into modernity in terms of like gaming in general, but also like fighting games, especially with what we're seeing from like Street Fighter. I'm hoping that whenever they do decide, hopefully after Tekken, they do decide to make a new Soul Calibur, they build it from the ground up, because I feel like they've been kind of riding the same engine for a while when it comes to those iterations. But I'm glad to hear that Street Fighter is like a full ass modern fighting game, because I also felt like Street Fighter needed to catch up.
Yeah, I mean it's a good reboot basically, even though like canonically it's ahead of time. Like all the people you remember are older in this and talk about their time where they used to be Street Fighters basically, and they're training the next generation of Street Fighters. So it's kind of cool that there's this like saga happening.
Yeah, that's neat.
And then when you start the game, there's the menu is World Tour, which is the create a character single player mode. The middle one is the Battle Hub, which is the online multiplayer stuff, and on the right is Arcade, which is what you typically get in fighting games single player, where you have just the versus PC training mode, etc. are all in there. There's also a friends list. Use your Capcom ID. You can add your friends. You can see what kind of stuff they've been doing, where they put their hours, what characters they like. You can also just queue up for matches anywhere in the start menu. So it's pretty cool. Full game. Totally recommend if you're even remotely interested. So I think it's completely worth the money. So,
It sounds cool.
yeah, and then just throw it out there. I haven't played all the characters yet, but Ken is my go-to this game. So
Yeah, I like Ken.
I know they're doing a character pass. Did not have my character. They did mention Sakura though, and I would hope they bring her in the future because she's my favorite. So yeah. And then I played the Final Fantasy 16 demo, which I can't give you details, but it is the first 2 hours of the game. It lets you pick difficulty, which is basically story mode or combat mode. Story mode just puts on the timely accessories, which, if you are not aware, are basically things that automate parts of the game. And if you are all of them, you automate a lot of the game. And for people who need that, it's good that's in the game. And I bring that up even with people who maybe have disabilities. It's not just for only game journalists, as funny as that is.
It's for them though.
It is, but it's also, there is a demographic that want to be included in these stories as well, and I think it's good for them to have that. You don't have to equip it. I didn't, so
Yeah.
Combat comes off a little simple in the demo, that's all I'm gonna say. But it is the beginning of the game, and if you played a Japanese role-playing game, things usually become a lot more complicated as you go. So
There's a flow to the way they in a lot of their games unveil features and stuff. So you'll play like 5 hours, all of a sudden there's a new thing, and then like 20 hours in, it's like, here's a new thing. And it's like, oh, okay.
So things I can talk about. There's no CG cutscenes. It's all in-engine cutscenes rendered on the PS5 in real time, and they are beautiful. I'm so thrilled to see the whole game. Some of the stuff they pull off, I'm just like, Man, I don't know if you need CG anymore. It's kind of crazy. There was some stuttering on on my system. Not everyone got that, and apparently there is going to be a day one patch, and part of that is a stutter fix. So apparently it wasn't just me. But
Be interesting to see if I get it as well. Want to try
Yeah.
the demo?
It was only a couple times, and it was during sequences, not gameplay. So
Okay.
it wasn't too bad, but I definitely noticed. I was like, "Uh-oh, no! You guys said no day one patch." They've kind of gone back. They did say you don't need it, but they're doing it anyways to smooth out some stuff. The voice acting, but the game first off was planned English first, which is kind of crazy for a Japanese game. The VAs, the lip syncing. In fact, they apologized to the Japanese audience that they didn't have time or the resources to really do a Japanese lip over. They tried doing an AI thing, but it didn't work out very well. So they just said, played it, a second time with the English with Japanese subtitles if you want to see synced up voices. So
Yeah, it's so interesting that they went that route. It definitely shows that they're aiming at a Western audience first and foremost.
yeah, well, and with that, the voice acting is phenomenal. I actually don't get to say that very often. Usually I'm like, oh, it's good, it's good. No, the people they got really kind of put their all into certain scenes. I won't say which scenes, but I believed them. So it was really good. The music, it's soaking, it's amazing. They really handle like making epic things just even more epic because of the music choices they do. Apparently, he was asked to make 115 songs for the game. He made 200 and something. So,
Oh shit. Yeah, that's a lot.
so there's a lot of music made for the game. Game plays good. It is very simple, like I said, it's the beginning of the game, and it's probably about 80% cutscenes because they're establishing the game. But
Oh, interesting.
yeah, they did warn before the demo went live, though, that it was going to be very cutscene heavy because they have a lot they have to explain to you before they let you loose into the world.
Yeah.
They definitely show off the rating, the M rating, in the demo as well, which is refreshing for Final Fantasy. They always have mature themes, but they still bring them down to T to sell more copies. They definitely wanted this one to be dark. So I get very tactics vibes as well from a lot of it because it's very political.
Yeah, it
which is
seemed
not a
like on the
complaint.
trailers.
And after you beat the demo, there is a combat mode that unlocks, but I guess it can be considered a little spoilery, so I didn't play it because the game's coming out anyways really soon, and I didn't really need that to push or to hold me off. I can wait, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think the sequences are necessarily correct. I think they said it's not as it will be in the game, but it still implies some stuff apparently. So I didn't touch it. Yeah. If you have a PS5, there's no reason for you not to get it though, because it saves and you get to continue in a couple days from where you leave off. So
Yeah. 22nd. It's the 18th right now, so very soon.
yeah, but that's what I've been playing. So
Yeah, I got much less to talk about here. So first off, I've been playing Diablo 4 every once in a while. It's fine. It looks good graphically. Obviously, everybody knows that at this point. But yeah, I've been kind of playing it when I get home from work to kind of like unwind a bit and kind of chill. Sadly, I've been playing the Druid, and I'm not doing what I expect most people to be doing. I'm not doing any bear form stuff or wolf stuff. I'm not transforming into things. I'm actually doing this. I forgot what it's called, but you do this move where you hit people from far away, and I build up my my energy, and then I cast out tornadoes, and the tornadoes just kill everything. And then I have 2 wolves with me that kill everything as well. So I kind of am not really involved in the combat a whole lot. Like I'm playing on PS5, and I hold X to attack, and my guy's just attacking nonstop. And then like I'll just hit square, and I start shooting tornadoes out, and the tornadoes just go around, hit people, kill them. I have a chance of casting 2 tornadoes per 1 cast. So a lot of times I just get a bunch of tornadoes, and I've spec'd into building my energy up quickly with my basic attacks so that I can just spam tornadoes and have my wolves kill things for me. And so it's a great way to unwind after work. Though I don't feel that engaged. I one night was just laying in bed. I was holding forward on the joystick, just running through the map, and I was just, anytime enemies would show up, I just hold X and start spamming square. And I would be like looking over. There's a TV, something's playing. I'd like just be like, I just keep moving. So it's fine. But not super engaging. That's my fault, I guess, in my build, but the game allows for it. But yeah, it's pretty fun. One thing I kind of want to go back on, if anybody remembers my beta impressions video, I had talked about the UI, and I still think it looks kind of like a mobile game, but I do think it's smart in one way for sure. Everything's half screened. Everything that you do, even your health and your potions and stuff, it's all on the side of the screen, which is really weird. Because if you go back to almost every ARPG ever, but Diablo specifically, you have in the center at the bottom your potions and your health and stuff. Now it's all just shoved over to the left side when you play this. And I'm playing on PS5. Maybe it's not the same on PC, but I don't remember, because that's where I originally played it. When you play split screen, the bottom right corner of the screen has the other person's stuff. And when I'm opening my inventory or my skills, it opens up on this side of the screen while things are still happening, or if they open it up, it's on the right side. And so the UI was built in a weird way, I think, for split screen play. And it's actually really smart in that regard. So when I was playing split screen with Sarah, I actually kind of appreciated, because I've played split screen before in these kind of games, and sometimes it feels kind of cluttered or like clunky, or like when I'm opening up my inventory, somebody's got to stop what they're doing so I can do stuff. And in this, it's very seamless, very smooth. It's a really good process. It's good at multitasking. I got my stuff going on, she's got her stuff going on, and in that regard, I think the UI is actually really smart. So I'm giving them some points for that design if you're playing the split screen. Otherwise, it's not bad or good in my opinion. If you're playing single player, it just is. But in terms of split screen, it's a smart design. I like what they did with it. My druid is, I think, like level 19 or 20 at this point, maybe 21. I'm not very far into the game. Been playing it pretty casually. But he's all right. Like I said, it's not very involved. It's not super interesting. A lot of the story is like okay, and most combat scenarios are just cutting through mobs, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. It just says go there, I go there, I kill the things, I level up. The skill tree is a little more interesting than I originally thought it was. It's still not amazing. I got kind of spoiled from Last Epoch, but or Path of Exile or something. There's some very in-depth character building ARPGs out there, but this game doesn't need to be that. Diablo is definitely aimed for everybody to enjoy, whether you're a big ARPG person or somebody who just wants to hit some stuff.
The PoE is a little much, I think, for a lot of people.
Sure. I've actually tried to get people into it, and they stopped there. Just like Warframe back in the day, people would be like, how's progression work? I don't get this. I got to craft things. And I'm like, okay. Once you get this, though, you'll understand, and it'll be a second nature thing for you. You're not gonna have the problem in Diablo 4. It's like you just, everything just makes sense, and it's very well designed. But yeah, anyway, the character building is fine. It's not bad. It's not amazing, but it's fine enough. I've been enjoying a little bit, kind of figuring out how I want to play my character. It does seem like with the druid, you're either going to be doing animal stuff or storm stuff. Yeah, so it's cool. It's again a great looking game. Every time I look at it, I'm like, they did a really good job making this game look good. The combat looks great. The moves are really cool. My sorcerer, like basic attack, because I think I'm like level 4 or 5 with my sorcerer. Barely played it with that character, but I have this attack where like this thing just kind of in front of me is like going around. It's like electricity, and it looks really cool. So if I could get those visuals with like the depth of a Last Epoch or something, that would be perfect. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I need to play it with people. I made a clan. Not that I would really be too. I wouldn't push it too much because I've barely played the game. I'm sure anyone who's listening to me talk about this is like already beaten the game and they're like, you don't know shit about this. I don't. But I made a clan. It's Tasty Lou Gaming. If you want to join us, you can. Yeah, I'll accept anyone. I don't care. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Pretty fun. And then the other game I played, which is a really weird one. Basically, I got to kind of. Some of you might already know about this game, but I just learned about it recently, and I bought it on a whim because it's $15. Basically, it's a BattleBit remastered, and so some of you might know what that is. But basically, 3 people made the best Battlefield in years. It's very weird. So I almost wanted to put a visual up here, but it's fine. Just look it up. Basically, it's a very low poly, no textured, Roblox looking shooter. You look at it and you're like, is this a joke? The characters look like Minecraft. They're square people. Yeah, I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, I'll try it. I mean, it's like $15. People are saying it's like great. You go in the reviews, everybody's like, this is the best Battlefield, or DICE could learn a lesson, all this stuff. And I'm like, man, this seems like just a rejection of Battlefield, and people are buying this out of like protest. I picked up the game, I played it, and it's like a feature-rich FPS. It's like you got people who play FPSs, listen to people and their own opinions on what people are looking for first-person shooters, and they threw all those features in this game. It just doesn't look that good, but it plays decently, and it's got a lot going on. So it's Battlefield. It's also Call of Duty. It's a lot of things, but it's got 3 modes so far. It's got 32v32, which I played with Josh a little bit, and that's hectic enough. Then it's got 64v64, and that's a more typical Battlefield scenario. And then it's got a 127 versus 127 mode that's fucking insane. And you get into a match in this game in seconds. So people are playing this. I was actually impressed to see 127 people versus 127 people, which is the first thing I did. As soon as I launched the game, I was like, well, let's check that out. Got into it within seconds, and all I see, it has little blue dots above people on your team. I see little blue dots everywhere. And like as I'm approaching, I see bullets going just everywhere. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. So I like bunker down. I'm trying to look for people. Or once I see a guy on the other team running by, I'd shoot at him. So that's really crazy. It has vehicles, which is interesting. It's got tanks. It's got helicopters, Humvees. It's got a shitload of weapons, a bunch of weapons with a bunch of attachments. Think Battlefield, think Call of Duty. This has that, which is crazy because it's 3 people who made this. And of course, you're like, how'd they do that? Well, look at the game. They didn't put much work into the visuals on it, but
looks like a half-cooked potato.
They put their time into the features. The game has a clan system. You have to be level 60 to be able to get it, but it's got a clan system, so that's pretty cool. I fought against a clan in one match, and we got our ass kicked, so it was annoying. I saw all of them have the same name. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why our team's getting decimated right now. They're all talking to each other, which is good, but interesting. It's got 12 maps. And each map can be played during day or night. The night version has that mode from Modern Warfare 2019 where you have to put night vision goggles on to see, and you have like the green lasers. You can see those. Everybody's running around with those. If you throw flares, you can't see it. Like it blinds you almost in real life. It's so bright. So there's like counters to night vision, but it's got that mode. There's like rain and stuff in some of the maps, so it's like visibility's low. I was very impressed that they even had that in the game. Then they got the day versions of the maps as well. The maps are huge, and they're actually very well thought out. There's a lot of choke points. There's a lot of different types of things on the map, different kinds of buildings. Also, it's voxel based, so everything's destructible for the most part, to the point where if you're playing, it's got classes. It's got like leader, support, medic, all that stuff. But I was playing leader, and leaders can call in certain things. You can call them like care packages, stuff like that. You can build walls on the battlefield. I was playing a map that's like a subway, and there's 2 layers to the subway, a below and above area. So it's just tunnels, and you're just fighting these tunnels. And every time we push and make some ground in the tunnel, I would build a wall so everybody could get up to the wall and start shooting and have cover, which was really interesting. But anyway, the voxel thing. So, grenades and rocket launchers will take walls out, but also you can get a sledgehammer, and when you swing at a wall, you'll break a bunch of pieces out of the wall, or you can get a pickaxe and knock individual bricks out of the wall. And so, for instance, there was this one match where we're trying to take this warehouse, and they were all in the warehouse, and we're outside of it, and everybody's dying, trying to get in there. And I walked up and I knocked just one brick out. And when I looked in, there was just a dude in there, like peeking around the corner, looking at the door we're trying to get in. And I started just unloading in there and shooting the people. And I was like, that's really cool. It's so funny because like the game's just like the whole time me and Josh were playing, we're just like, oh, this shit has this, like this thing has this, it has that, it has this, and I'm just looking at the game. I'm like, this game looks stupid. It looks stupid. Like you look at I and there's so many people playing and so many people are talking in game. It feels like almost the old days of like Call of Duty or like Battlefield, where there's like more in-game community,
including screaming people.
People really look at that game and go, I'm going to try and be as realistic as possible. And people start screaming about how they're bleeding, they're dying, all sorts of stuff. I started doing it too in one match because I thought it was just so stupid. But anyway, what was I talking about before that? Anyway, you look at this game and it just looks so ridiculous. It looks like you're playing like Roblox or Minecraft or something like that. But it's got all these features that so many AAA shooters don't have or are lacking. And it's just kind of crazy that me and Josh at one point were like, DICE should just hire these 3 dudes to oversee the next Battlefield.
The director.
If the next Battlefield wants to just be like the best Battlefield ever, it should copy this game and make it look like Battlefield graphically. And you would have an amazing Battlefield. And it's fucking insanely sad for me to say that these indie guys are just like, yeah, we're going to make like an awesome first-person shooter. And they did. It's really fun. It's got leveling, progression, weapons to unlock, skins to unlock for your weapons, different attachments that all do different stuff. It's got like really cool attachments to the guns with stats, full like gunsmith loadout stuff from like COD. The maps are actually really good in their design. The only thing that this game doesn't have is the graphics aren't good. That's it. Like, other than that, it's like, oh, solid. It's $15. People kept saying I said it. People kept saying while we're playing, they're like, it's the best $15 I ever spent. Or people are like, it's crazy that this game's $15 and a certain $70 game isn't even half as good as this. And some other guy was just like, he's like, we don't talk about that game. Don't bring that up. So it just feels like a community of people who are just dissatisfied with AAA shooters right now are all just living here. And yeah, it's not like some like obscure game either. Like there's a lot of people playing this game. It's crazy. And if you look at their reviews, they're all overwhelmingly positive. And I'm sitting here telling you it's great too. So if you got $15 and you want to play a really fun first-person shooter and you're okay with it looking like shit graphically, but you're there for the features. I don't even remember the name. BattleBit Remastered is dope. It's pretty legit. It also has leaning. You can lean around corners and shoot at people. Like it's got like just every little thing. I'm like, oh, I wish I had this in a shooter. It has it. I'm like, man, it's crazy. Also, it's got this is something that I kind of hate about a lot of the more modern Call of Duties, but like you win or lose a match, and at the end you get to vote for what kind of game mode you want to play next. Everybody's voting. And then when that's decided, it throws up 5 maps. You get to vote on the map you want to play next, and you get to vote day or night. And then so you just continue on and keep changing the game mode and the map as you go, and everybody's just kind of playing and having fun. And I think that's the best thing about it is it just feels fun. It doesn't feel like it's trying to be like it doesn't feel like it's just trying to be like esports competitive focused. It doesn't feel like it's overly balanced where like you can't have too much fun because that's not fair. Yeah, it just has.
That's the thing missing from gaming for a lot of people though these days is fun.
Yeah,
the whole reason a lot of us got into gaming was that it was a fun hobby to have.
Yeah.
And now it's, and don't get me wrong, I super appreciate like realism and stuff like that, but sometimes you just want to play something. I spent a lot of my time in Minecraft, for example, just because like it's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a gameplay first, realism and graphics second game. It doesn't have that, but yeah, it's a great example of two things. First off, gameplay trumps everything. This game doesn't look good, but you very quickly overlook it because you're having so much fun. And then secondly, indie games is where ideas really flourish, and you get really cool stuff because rarely in AAA do we get a game where you're like, whoa, that's really smart, that's crazy, it's inventive, or you're tapping into what people are asking for. Most of the time with AAA, we get what we get. They've decided, and they're just like, hey man, we got the budget, you're getting experience at the graphics you're not getting anywhere else, and we're like, hell yeah, dude, like this is the pinnacle of gaming. But then you look at indie games and there's like, I feel unsatisfied with AAA right now, and I'm gonna make the game. Fuck it, I'll make it. See if people like it. Yeah. And then other people are like, I've been wanting a game like that too, dude.
I mean, that's Path of Exile.
Yeah, that's Vampire Survivors. That's like so many games out there in the indie world that they give us the games we're not getting otherwise. And so I love both. And I think it's a healthy ecosystem, and I love when indie can counter AAA, because it makes AAA fucking pay attention and go, why is that game getting so much? How much money do we fucking spend on our games? And people are bitching at us. Why is that shitty looking game getting so much praise? What's going on there? And it makes them think. So I think it's a healthy ecosystem. So it feels like a win for indie games. And I know I'm kind of talking up this game, but like it's just so weird to play a game that looks this bad and just be like, man, AAA really needs to sit down and rethink what the hell they're even doing when it comes to these brands that we're constantly just going like, hey, I'll play it, but like I wish it was better. So yeah, so that game is BattleBit remastered. I thought about streaming it. Maybe I will. It'd be really easy to do, but yeah, fun game. Definitely check it out. And that's all I've been playing, 2 games. So I hope to play more. I hope to play some 16 demo or the game itself soon if I wait long enough. And yeah, anything else? All right, well, let us know in the comments, what games have you guys been playing lately? What games would you recommend us play? What games are you looking forward to playing? Are you going to check out Final Fantasy 16? Are you interested in BattleBit Remastered? Did I sell it to you? And if you're playing it, what do you think about it? I feel like you probably like it. Everybody in that game was so positive about the game. They're just having fun, which is just great. Nobody's bitching or anything. But yeah, let us know what you think about it in the comments below when it comes to just whatever the hell you got on your mind. Okay, let's get into the videos we're going to watch. And the first one we got up is we got a gameplay overview for 33 Immortals. Maybe you're thinking, what the hell is that? It is apparently a game that's 33 player co-op that was showed off at the Xbox showcase. This was showed off at this overview was showed off at the Xbox Extended Showcase, so we didn't watch it in our stream. But this was a game that kind of caught me and Shelby both off guard a little bit in terms of like, we don't know what it is. They talked about it when they said it was 33 player co-op. We're both just like, what? And it kind of, in a weird way, was like one of the highlights for me of the Xbox showcase, because it was one of the most interesting ideas. They had their AAA cinematics they showed off, but this one sounded kind of interesting. So I wanted to deep dive a bit on it. I want to check out the overview, see if it's something we want to play, because it sounded kind of cool. Before we watch this, do you have anything you want to say?
I mean, I think you pretty much covered it. Yeah, it was a very strange announcement. So
yeah,
there was definitely some curiosity.
Yeah, well, let's watch this and formulate some opinions further. This is 33 Immortals gameplay overview, Xbox Extended Showcase 2023 via IGN in 3, 2, 1, go.
Every year in our showcase, there's one game that kind of pops for me. Something
He's looking a little happier than last time I saw him.
This year, we got to announce 33 Immortals from Thunder Lotus.
Process it, yeah.
And I'm here now with Stefan and Will to walk through a demo of the game, which I've never played before. First time. We have 33 people online, incredibly excited about this. So we're going to jump in?
All right, let's jump in and start playing.
33 Immortals.
The 30 other people is probably like, look, Phil Spencer's playing, let him fucking win.
A damned soul must rebel against God's final judgment. So there are 3 of us here today on stage, 3 upstairs, and 27 people joining us from Montreal in the studio. Hi, everyone.
And we are ready. That's us. Everybody's spawning in.
That's us.
This is 33 player multiplayer.
Yeah.
Not a normal
Wild.
number of characters for a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
How did you come up with 33 players?
We were searching for a significant number where we can all play on the screen.
Yeah.
We stay together on the screen, so 33 felt good. 32 felt good. But as the game is inspired by
Guy's
the
name was
Divine
TLG
Comedy,
Will.
the medieval poem from Dante Alighieri, written in the 14th century. And this poem has 3 sections: Inferno, Purgatorio, Paradiso. Each section has 33 chapters. And so we say, oh, let's do 33
I
players.
love it. I love it.
33 Immortals.
And I love what you said, Will, that when you guys started this game, there weren't even 33 people at the studio. So you didn't have enough people in the studio to fill out the full roster of the game.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's just such an awesome point.
It's a
You have to bring
challenge.
people in for that.
It's a challenge when you're trying to do that.
I love it.
Okay, so no two ones are
Yeah, see,
same.
TLG will.
We're actually spawning in a different
Yeah, their name was
position,
Thunder
different situation. We are in the
something. I
cemetery.
assume
if
gaming.
You hold the left trigger,
Copyright.
the whole map is going to
True.
show up. And we can see that we are 33
weird.
right now, actually, in Inferno, but we are scattered around the world.
Oh, we're not all in the same place.
Yeah, because we all have to complete torture chambers
Got it.
to make the game progress.
Okay.
And we are located at the southwest of Inferno.
Yeah.
And so the closest torture chambers is to the east.
Okay.
So let's go there.
Got it.
Okay, let's continue down south towards the first torture chambers. This one, I have a good feeling for it.
The soundtrack, what's going on? The music's kind of cool.
Oh, thank you. This is Max LL, who's actually done the music on all of our games. So
And you're in Montreal,
we are in Montreal, yes. The whole
close to one of our XGS studios in Compulsion.
Yes,
It's also in Showcase.
Yes,
I love the community of game creators in Montreal.
absolutely.
So it is
It's
basically
always
a raid.
Important to be
Yeah,
well surrounded
though
and all
it's
that.
got,
We didn't talk about your first
I
game,
don't know if I'm in love with the
Spiritfarer.
combat
Yeah.
system.
I loved. I thought it was
Sure.
fantastic.
Thank you.
I know you
Yeah,
don't
it
like
was
twin
great.
stick type games.
Now, as you can see, this is not Spiritfarer.
No, but
Oh, it's the
how
same
do you
people,
think about that
interesting.
From a studio standpoint, having such, I mean,
Well, for us-
I would say they're stylized games, but
Yeah,
outside of
absolutely.
that, very different games.
We're not worried about, genre. Our goal is really to just try and make unique, immersive, creative experiences that players love and that they want to play for.
Awesome. I love
Great.
that.
Yeah.
This guy who's
Yeah.
getting out of my comfort zone sometimes.
Okay.
All right.
What do we do?
So we have completed a torture chamber, so we have achieved a first step in
I got left behind. That's what you're saying.
defying God, yeah.
Bye, Phil.
Oh, they're back on us.
Whoa.
Well, we're gonna
Okay.
face the wrath of God.
Careful.
Ah.
Oh, no.
Dash, 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 dash.
Run away.
Oh, I can't. I can't. I have like 0 health. New torture. No, I got to get out of here.
Where are you?
Well, why weren't they in the torture chamber
Oh.
trying to help us?
Okay,
Okay, these range.
God
There's
is getting
a
angry.
lot of
Yeah.
tells happening at once.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We're getting
It's got to
hammered
cover a
right
lot
now.
of people, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, here's a guy. Can you revive me? Revive me.
Yeah, just stop moving. That's good. One up.
Yeah, I'm up. I'm up.
Okay, off.
Thank you.
Oh no! Oh, run. Oh, this is the holy fire.
What is this?
Oh, one
holy
nose.
fire.
One nose.
Now we're in holy fire?
The wrath of God.
Okay, I'm ahead of it.
Okay, so we unlock the Ascension battle. So that's the last battle.
Here, can we
before
get this? Can people jump in my heels?
Yeah. I mean. Oh.
I tried to do the
needs-
heal. Don't mind me, the wandering soul.
Save me,
I was trying to figure out
please.
earlier when they
Like a
entered
zombie.
that had a 6 above the door. I wonder if that's the minimum amount of
Maybe
people
someone-
that
Did I
are
mention I
required
never
to
played
go in.
before?
Oh, maybe.
Oh no, I died too. Oh my.
Oh,
Okay, hopefully the team can carry us.
I'm
But
in-
we are not alone.
there's a lot of enemies in this small
Yeah.
space.
Gonna try to not move.
Okay.
Don't move, and hopefully someone is going to be able to revive you. Okay, good.
Oh, I'm in.
I'm up.
I'm in.
Okay.
Okay.
Back.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, thank you.
So this is the last step.
I think it's my last.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
We did it?
Right, yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
yeah.
So now we've ascended.
Yeah.
That was first chapter of first book. Is that how I should think about it?
Yeah.
It's the first world, so it's Inferno.
Yeah.
Each region has its whole big set of challenges and everything,
And this is all on the map.
and its final boss fight.
That's what this is. Well, since we've basically come through unscathed so far, this should be easy.
So 3 worlds, 33 chapters each.
Okay. Yeah.
Biggest, strongest group
You saved us
survives.
from having to kill the final boss.
It's a bit of a tease.
I like it. I like it. Well, best of luck to you and the team and everything that's going on. Can't wait for this game to come out. I won't ask for the date because I know that's unfair. But it was great to have in the show and great for you to come down and we got the opportunity to play. So thank you for that.
Thank you so
Phil.
much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for watching Showcase Extended. I love these
Yeah.
opportunities to show more about everything that you saw in the showcase itself. Thanks to everybody that supported us and have a great week. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you. All right. That was 33 Immortals extended look at it. What'd you think?
So I think it's a neat idea, and I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to really enjoy it. The play style does not look super appealing to me. Specifically, and I get it, they're really kind of emphasizing that co-op thing, which I think is great. But the way like abilities and stuff like that are being done, where you have to have people like stand in the circles to activate them and stuff like that. I don't know. I shouldn't judge it too much because I could like try it and maybe really enjoy it, but from a visual glance, it kind of looks to me. But I love the concept. It seems like they have a ton of levels because if I understood correctly, there's 99 stages basically to get through before you beat the game. So
That sounds like a shitload.
yeah, because they said 3 chapters or three sections, 33 chapters each is what I think they said. Correct me if I'm wrong. I was trying to keep up, but his accent is thick.
Yeah, I was trying to do the same.
And then it looked like everyone had different gear, so that's also promising for playstyle reasons. Obviously, you don't want everyone to be stuck with the same weapon. So
And they had someone dropping heals. I thought was kind of neat. Kind of reminded me of an actiony MMO experience.
yeah, and then with like the stage like forcing everyone to run and stuff like that. Like there's some cool ideas there. I just don't know if it's translating super well to me visually as much as it would be maybe if I was playing it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks cool. It's definitely a game that I would play for sure. 2 things, though, that would keep me in the game. Hopefully they do, and I think it says something about it. But I would need constant progression, not just roguelite progression where every run you're getting and finding things that make you more powerful per run. I do like that, but there needs to be something that I'm keeping over time. And then also cosmetics would be kind of cool too. It looks like we have different colored people, but that might just be classes. I don't know, but I could imagine maybe they do give you different colors wherever you can pick from. I don't know. But yeah, something that carries over from run to run is something that's going to keep me playing this game. Other than that, though, I think the idea is really cool. I think the gameplay is something I would definitely play. I don't remember if this is going to be on everything. This is obviously an Xbox showcase, so they're not going to mention any other.
yeah, what a weird embargo.
Yeah, but if it is on everything, hopefully it will have crossplay. This game will need crossplay if it's on multiple consoles and PC. But let's see if it says it down below so I can stop speculating. But I don't know if it's going to say it or not. It does not say. Anyway, I'll look into it later. But yeah, this is a game that looks like something I would play for sure. I do like that people are doing different abilities. You're going to have to work together in large groups, which will at first be really fucking annoying because everybody's learning the game. Later, you're going to have people who are just like know exactly what to do, when to do it, and that will feel gratifying when you have a huge group of 33 people working together and beating levels together. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I do like that it separates people on different tasks because that makes it really interesting. You could probably get groups of people that all know each other that are working together in their small groups, so you have different teams working towards the same goal. And I do like the chaotic nature of it, and that it's actiony. Seems like it's gonna be a fun time for sure. The art style's okay. I could take it or leave it. But I really like the idea. I think it sounds really cool, and I love that they are ambitious enough to think of a co-op experience that's not just 3 or 4 player. 33 is going to make or break this. If it's too much and it doesn't work very well, nice try. But if it does work, they're doing something that you're only going to be able to get here, and I think that's pretty cool. It's a good gamble. Hopefully it does well, and hopefully the game's fun to play. But it's definitely a game on my radar now. I will likely play this when it comes out. So and I know some people who want to play it probably as well. So yeah, pretty cool. Anything else? Listen in the comments. What do you guys think about 33 Immortals? Do you have any information that we didn't talk about, or maybe we didn't hear that you want to throw out there too that you might know about the game? But what do you think about it? Does it sound like something you'd want to play? Is there other games like this that you know of that you might want to recommend? And what are your thoughts across the board when it comes to 33 Immortals? Let us know in the comments below. Also, one last thing too, if there's something that was showed off during the showcases or had come out on these extended showcases that we don't cover in this episode that you want us to cover, let me know. I'll do a TLG Reacts, because there's so much stuff. I didn't even know the Armored Core thing happened until like a couple days ago. So yeah. Another thing that was showed off was Atlas Fallen official gameplay overview trailer. I have watched this. I mostly just wanted to get your thoughts on it because it seems like it might be a game that you might want to play. Over on TikTok, this has been kind of a running meme over on my Tasty Senpai channel. Make sure to go check it out, where when I first saw Atlas Fallen, I thought it looked so generic. They look like every game that exists. And I jokingly said I had a stroke from it. Then I made a second video referring to Atlas Fallen was the game that looks like everything, and I had a stroke from it before. Now we're seeing more gameplay, and it looked kind of interesting. And then this last time I had talked about it, I found out some features about this that is starting to make the game look kind of interesting to me. So I want to get your thoughts on it. But just be warned, it seems like Outriders and Godfall to me in terms of its visual style. And I'm hoping it will be fun like those games were, even though they didn't look the most unique. So, but yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, we're going to watch this. It'll let you know. But Atlas Fallen is a third-person action RPG that apparently has co-op, which is a neat thing to find out. Do you know anything about it? Do you have anything to say on it? Or do you just want to watch this?
I don't know nothing.
All right, this is the Atlas Fallen official gameplay overview trailer in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, jokingly said this game looks like Monster Hunter, it looks like Darksiders, it looks like ESO, looks like I just anytime I talk about this game, I just keep naming off games.
Liberate mankind, destroy the Sun God. This is Atlas Fallen. With rediscovered power comes hope for humanity. Enslaved for centuries and worshipped to Thelos, you finally have a way to fight back and grow from one of the unnamed to champion of the people on Atlas.
Come, Gauntlet Bearer.
Meet your gargantuan foes with an arsenal of powerful, magical weaponry and skills that turn enemies to dust again. Don't want to cross the deserts alone? Bring a friend to experience this massive action RPG in seamless drop in.
Yeah, it's Journey.
Drop
I didn't
out
ever mention
color.
that one. That's some new ammo for me.
Atlas was not always the home of wraiths and buried ruins.
Come, up with you. We have to move.
Thelos, the sun god, stripped its people of everything. Homes, lives, even their names. They are forced to dig and mine and sift through the wreckage of our world for essence, a magical substance that is raised to his glory.
It is mine. Thelos demands it.
This whole deal's just lore? Or?
You are but one among these millions.
It's a complete overview.
Venturing across the sands to deliver essence to the capital. Stumbling
Is this
across the
title?
gauntlet opens up a new path for you and humanity. The ability to explore the realm.
Yeah, I didn't know it was
brimming
gonna have
with
character
things to
customization.
discover
I thought it was
for
gonna
the
be a single
eager
player game.
adventurer and people who need your help.
We've been walking for hours.
I wouldn't complain. We're lucky enough the passage didn't collapse on us.
Crossing the land with your newfound powers is a much easier task than before your discovery. As you explore and empower the gauntlet, your abilities will evolve, letting you fly through the air or glide across the dunes as you see fit. Along the way, submerged structures, chests, and secrets will beckon you to discover them and restore more of the world. Much has been lost, but maybe not forever.
When will you learn? You are unnamed for a reason, and no one will ever notice. One more dead unnamed.
You gotta talk to him like that.
Atlas
True.
is a dangerous world, and for the rebellious, even more so. Wraiths stalk the land, eager to shape your grave from the endless dunes. Smaller enemies are quickly dispatched with your ever-evolving weaponry, but stay on your toes for the legendary creatures that will bar your way. Each is a massive and terrifying beast that will take all your skill, guile, and unique strategies to defeat. Every enemy has weak points, joints,
Kind of,
limbs, or other places
see the
where the
monster
liberal application of force can yield great results. Targeting these and choosing the right ones at the right moments is key to success on Atlas against its many foes.
When I heard the stories about this gauntlet
Yeah, it seems
bearer,
so inspired by
I
everything.
knew we would cross
Every
paths
game,
again.
it's just like, oh, I want
a
to do
lot
this,
has
I want to do
happened.
that.
But let's get to someplace safe.
Yeah, I mean, the big takeaway I'm getting right now is that it's a
The
a boss
gauntlet
rush game.
means the
And
sands
they're trying to have their own
themselves
take
become
on
your
that,
weapon.
So
Each strike creates momentum, building to a mighty shatter attack that crushes your foes.
Yeah,
This
earlier they
gets
said you
more
could
and
kill,
more
like,
powerful
with the
as you
mobs.
fight, leading to a titanic finale of destructive power. Mix and match the Dune Cleaver, Sand Whip, and Knuckle Dust with more than 100 Essence Stones to build a playstyle that is truly your own. This provides a myriad of combinations of active and passive skills to experiment with and find the best way
Combat
to
kind of reminds
bring
me of God
down
of
each
War as well.
monster you face.
Like, except for you're
Whether
really
you
zoomed
intend
out,
to
but like
impale your
doing
enemies,
crazy
live
swings
through
and
the most
stuff.
devastating
Yeah.
attacks,
It also reminds me of, like,
or
Devil May
unleash
Cry
aerial
and, like-
combos, there's a style for you. Essence stones are found all over the world, including from smashing parts off your enemies, as well as being specifically crafted by you to get the effects you want. From fluid playstyles to big hits, perfect blocks to dodges and rolls, you determine every part of your build. Exploring and experimenting is half the fun. If that all sounds overwhelming alone, you're in luck. Atlas Fallen supports co-op play with a friend for its entire campaign. A satisfying challenge on its own, in co-op, the possibilities for character builds and team-up attacks
That was the
are
feature that
limitless.
just kind of was like, okay, yeah, I would play that.
Oh, so it
Execute
tends to be
unique
a big selling
combos
point for
and
you.
build
Yeah.
synergies to even the odds
I like playing with
and
people,
take
dude.
the fight to Thelos. Rise and conquer the gods in Atlas Fallen. Coming soon on
get what I mean by the
PS5,
generic look of
Xbox
it, though?
Series, and
Oh yeah,
PC.
this is gonna be a weird way to word this, but like a lot of like really nice looking free to play games, you have that kind of like everything's like super clean look to it. That's what this kind of gives me vibes of. So.
Yeah, for sure. Some of it kind of does remind me of like a free to play game, except for the depth of like character building seems a little premium to me.
One, it doesn't have that free to play jank going on either.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
It just visually kind of reminds me of games that are trying to sell you like visual looks.
Yeah.
Like the game it looks like it goes very hard on like lighting effects and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, and that's kind of like their visual identity is just effects.
Shiny. Yeah. It's a shiny looking game.
Yeah.
What do we think?
I mean, it looks okay, right? There's nothing here that's screaming like pick me over things like that. It obviously is taking inspiration from that I could just go back and play already. That being said, I don't have like any negative thoughts about it. It looks okay. I think the only thing that's really missing for me here is there's like not like a thing about it that makes me go, oh, that's super interesting. I want to play that.
Yeah.
And that's the problem
I agree with
I
that.
think I have with it. It comes off very like safe. Yeah. I don't know how else to word it. And that's not a bad thing. It's good to have those kind of games sometimes. Not everything has to be a 9 or 10 out of 10 game. Sometimes you just need a simple, mindless, fun game, and maybe this is that kind of game. So, I hate the sand surfing though. It looks so stupid.
I also am not a fan of deserts in games. It seems like there's
Same.
a lot of desert in this game.
But it's a co-op game. It could be worth picking up. Like it's specifically like in your shoes. Having a game to just kind of sit down and play with someone that
it looks like a
low barrier to entry mentally.
Yeah.
So
it seems like a solid B game to have on the side, similar to like when I was playing Godfall. Not the campaign, I know it sucks. The end game's really fun. Or Outriders,
which unfortunately has still not made a profit apparently.
Oh really? That sucks, because I thought Outriders was actually really cool.
It is.
Big surprise for me. And then like even Remnant for a split second before I got really into it was kind of like a little B game for me. It was like, oh, this is kind of a neat little third person shooter that's inspired by Dark Souls. Now I think it's like amazing, and I can't wait for the next one. But there's room for those like games that aren't like the most incredible, awesome, best game ever, but are just like, it's kind of a slow time right now, and I would play that. I 100% agree with you in terms of like, this doesn't have like an it factor to it. There's nothing about this game. It's like, that is Atlas Fallen, especially with its visual identity completely lacking. Gameplay wise, it just has a bunch of features I know I like in games. Mm-hmm. And so that collection, this quality is shit. I apologize for everybody watching right now. I don't know what the fuck is happening. But it doesn't have the one factor where I'm like, ooh, I got to play for that. But it has a lot of things that I like in a lot of games. And as long as it does them all competently, I think the experience would be fun with a friend. I could not see myself playing this by myself. And I think the big thing that sold it to me was the co-op. This game went from like a game I made fun of, because I was like, it just looks like everything. Like they couldn't come down with like a like identifying look. They're just like, some armor, it's chunky, you do a lot of aerial attacks, and there's big monsters, and every weapon does a lot of crazy things. But now we know there's like these stones or whatever that change up your build, so I think they're just using a lot of abilities from what they're picking there. But anyway, I like co-op, I like action games, I like RPGs, I like building characters out.
The bosses have weak points like you'd expect in like a Monster Hunter or a Wild Hearts or
it's
whatever,
a little more involved than just hitting things. And there's exploration, there's things to find on the map, which is these are all features that I like. There's just, is this game doing any of those features better than other games? Probably not. I'm gonna find out. I'm definitely gonna pick this up. But that it has all those features might make for an experience that might be pretty cool. I expect this game to be like pretty fun, and I would love for it to surprise me and go like, you know what, Atlas Fallen is actually really good. Or it's a game that I'm willing to gamble on and go, that game wasn't that great.
Sure.
So it's a really weird mid game that I've slowly become more and more interested in as I've seen it. I actually didn't expect the combat to be this fluid when I originally watched a trailer for it.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
It looked kind of not AAA, but not indie. And a lot of those games, especially through, I forgot who's producing this or publishing it, but they put out Focus. They put out a lot of games that are like not the best gameplay wise, but they always look pretty decent. And so I wasn't expecting for this fluid combat, dynamic combat. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, no, it looks like it flows really well. So I would definitely play that. And then when I found out the progression, I don't care about the character customization. Everybody's wearing chunky armor anyway. But when I saw, like, these stones you can kind of build up your character with, and then the co-op, and then, exploration and boss battles, I was like, that sounds like something I would play. But yeah, the co-op was the thing that really pushed me over. Because if you took the co-op out and you're like, this game, I'd be like, it's on sale, I might pick it up. But now that I know I can play this with somebody, I would feel more inclined to do so.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think what you had to say about it is completely fair. And I think it's a really good point when you said it doesn't really have like the thing. Because a lot of games come out and you're like, I got to play for that. This doesn't really have that. But it has a lot of things. It's a buffet. This is a buffet that you're going into. None of the food's going to be great, but you can get what you want. Pizza or fucking whatever the hell.
True.
Yeah. This is a buffet.
Get some orange chicken and put it on top of your slice of pizza.
Yeah. And then get some ice cream or something. And just feel like a piece of shit for eating all this because they charged you a huge chunk of money. You're like, I'm going to get my money's worth. I haven't been to a buffet in fucking so long. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Anyway, this is the buffet of gaming. Anything else you want to say on it?
No.
Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Atlas Fallen. What do you think about the way it looks? What do you think about the features? Does it sound like a game you would want to play? Is there any strengths to this game that you would argue for? Not argue with us. But is there something like, no, hold on, that looks actually really cool, or does this game look like complete shit to you? Could you live the rest of your life without ever hearing about it again? Let me know everything you're thinking about in the comments below when it comes to Atlas Fallen. Next video we got is Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty gameplay overview. This is also on the extended showcase of Xbox. I don't think we really got to say a whole lot before we watch this. We both like Cyberpunk. We both like CD Projekt Red. We're both looking forward to Phantom Liberty. So this is just going to show some gameplay and some overview. I kind of expect what they're going to show us. I've played the game, but if there's any new features, this would probably be where they're going to show it. You have anything you want to say before we watch this?
I mean, I just don't expect it to be super surprising.
Yeah. I honestly wasn't even planning on watching this, but when I saw it, I'm like, we have to watch that. It's Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to expect other than like what they've shown us already a million times. So.
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
It's going to be an overview about him. Like, we got Idris Elba.
The President of the United States.
Yeah.
Or whatever they call it now.
Yeah, they keep talking about that. I'm like, I don't care about that. But I want to play it because I want more content. So, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty gameplay overview in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to welcome you to this exclusive Xbox store over Black Market.
The volume on these videos is so different.
All over the place.
Yeah. To explore in Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. As you can see, Dogtown welcomes you with open arms.
Too tame?
This is Black Market, a location where you as a player, as a mercenary, you can obtain unique cyberware and weapons, things that you cannot find anywhere in this world. Dogtown is a part of Night City, but has its own very distinct look and vibe.
I always forget
It's
how
outside of the
fucking
jurisdiction
cool
of
this game
NCPD,
looks.
Oh, yeah.
Attracting all kinds of eccentrics and dangerous characters.
Radical mods, June. Never seen anything like that on a
Yeah, dude.
non-maelstromer.
That guy's looking crazy.
You mean this? Ain't seen nothing yet. Check this out.
Dang.
Is that your party trick or
We've
what?
put a lot of work into making the world feel more alive. Small scenes, secrets to find, Easter eggs, make this place feel more vibrant and more believable.
Maintenance accessories.
But what's inescapable in Dogtown is Kurt Hansen. Kurt is a leader of Borges militia who rules Dogtown with an iron fist.
You've come to the right place. NCPD, gang wars, not in Dogtown. Taxes, who the f needs them? In Dogtown, I keep your business safe as long as you abide by my rules.
A really nice guy, as you can see.
I thought so.
The Black Market also is a place where you can find new illegal weapons and goods. They
I
are
love how well
some of
they
the
like
most
just have
powerful items in the
constantly
world,
nailed the aesthetic.
but are often
Oh, yeah,
much
they
more
got that down.
dangerous to use. A new cyberware capacity system, which leads you to push your body to the limit and give you new abilities to deliver more thrilling gameplay experiences, like the air dash or the ability to see the enemies through the walls, or change your appearance to lose the heat. The Borges is the authorities of Dogtown, and they are more dangerous than NCPD. When you as a player commit crimes in Dogtown, they are the guys who are going to chase you. We have completely overhauled the police system. Police actions are more believable, dynamic, and diverse. The team has been working passionately
And that
to deliver you
retroactively
more
affects the base
deeper
game, right?
and meaningful
Yeah, I think so.
experience, and I really cannot wait for you to find out more this September. See you in Dogtown.
That's cool. Yeah, the police needed overhauled, and I'm glad to hear they're just doing that.
Yeah.
They weren't like, oh, we put a patch out. It's like, no, we like reworked it. Good, because that's what needed to happen. We didn't see a whole lot there, but what do we think? It looks good.
I mean, it looks cool. I'm looking forward to eventually trying it out. I still have to beat the game. I might just start over, to be honest, when this comes out, because they're going to rework the system anyways.
Yeah, it would probably be worth making at least, like, I've beaten the game, and maybe I should make a second character to play through, because I haven't played in a while, so to reacquaint myself, check out what they've updated system-wise, stuff like that.
Yeah, I just don't even know what I was doing with the other character. It's a problem when you leave a role-playing game for too long. It's like, what the hell was I even doing? And I don't mean quest wise, I just mean build wise. Like my brain's not there anymore. So, and it's fine. Like if I'm in the right headspace to play it, I mean, I'll just sit down and play it. So, yeah, I mean, it looks cool. I'm really glad that they're even releasing some more content for it because I got a little worried there with the way the game started. We don't have to get too into that, obviously. Everyone knows, but I would love to see just even more at this point. But I feel like at this juncture, this will probably be the only DLC, and they might just start working on another game at this point. So
yeah, we know they're going to make more Witcher for sure, but eventually they're going to make more Cyberpunk games. So
yeah, I can't imagine they'd let the IP just dwindle after that, especially because now it has a positive reception, so especially after the anime really gave it a bump.
And regardless of the reception, it sold very well. So in business terms, it did very well because it made a lot of money. So
yeah, I still would like to see going forward some sort of multiplayer. It's a real shame I can't just explore. It doesn't even have to be the story mode. It could have been a whole separate mode where you just do silly little side quests with your friends. Like
it's been a while since I was covering all the stuff that that they're doing, but I do believe that there is a project for multiplayer that's a separate thing than this. And so we will see. But yeah, multiplayer would have been really cool, especially in a game where you're living in this like high density cyberpunk city and everyone looks so different, has different abilities. It would have been cool to do stuff with your friends.
I mean, if they could even pull together the resources to do something, and I really doubt it, but to do something like, Grand Theft Auto Online was like this cool, like you got to just live in that world. I'd like that kind of experience here because this is more my speed anyways. I love Cyberpunk as a genre.
Yeah.
So
even 2-player co-op or up to 4-player co-op would have been really cool.
Yeah. Something.
But something designed with social features and stuff too would be much better in my opinion than just like playing the game co-op. I would take that.
Yeah, I want to have my apartment or whatever. I want to be able to decorate it, buy different clothes, do random activities and stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of just what I meant by like having just like a cool. It doesn't have to be the story. It doesn't have to be some deep story. It could just be you're just some street Sam out there, doing your thing. So that'd be fun enough.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's not what this is. Obviously, this looks cool. I'll be picking it up probably. I don't know about day one, or we'll see where I am financially and game wise at the time. But it will eventually be picked up. So
for sure. Yeah, this is very short. Just kind of showed off this Dogtown place, which looks cool. Definitely looks like Cyberpunk. The graphics are great. I forgot that this game looks this good. And I'm very happy to hear that they're reworking the police in the game because that is something that was very lackluster. When the game first came out, it was broken. When they had patched it, it wasn't that satisfying. They felt kind of robotic. They would show up, shoot at you, and then if you lose them, which was very easy to do, or sometimes not easy to do, they would just stop attacking you or following you. So it's just like it felt very, very robotic. Definitely needed some improvement. So hopefully the rework works out well. I liked this little interaction with this person, how they actually were showing off their stuff, which was cool. It kind of builds the atmosphere of this world that people that aren't you have also really interesting augments. And this guy's obviously trying to sell some black market stuff. And then I believe they're talking about skills. One where you can change the way you look to lose people. Is that something that's already in the game, or is that something they're adding?
Augments and stuff.
Yeah, because that sounded really cool. Especially if you're playing like a stealth build or
and if they rework the police, it would make sense to add something like that.
Because like I was thinking in the current build, I'm like, I don't know if that even would work. Is that just an on-off switch for the police to stop shooting at you?
Basically. Yeah.
So hopefully with that rework, that'll be cool. But yeah, overall, this is looking cool. I'm definitely going to play it. I likely will pick it up day one, although I'm feeling fucking exhausted already, seeing that it's coming out in, September. There's too many games, and there's so many big games coming out.
True.
It's just crazy. But I'm actually really excited to revisit Night City because I really enjoyed the game. So, and coming back and seeing what they do and things they're adding, this is only a game that could get more stuff and be even cooler. So, there's so much more you could do with this property, and getting a full-on expansion, especially from CD Projekt Red. They're very good at making expansions to their games. They don't cheap out on them. I'm excited for sure. So it looks cool. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, let us know in the comments what do you guys think about Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. What was the big things that stood out to you in this very short presentation, gameplay overview, and what are you looking forward to most with this update? What do you think about the police rework and new features? Let me know everything you think about in the comments below. Last two videos we're watching have to do with Armored Core 6. If that's why you're here, we're doing that now. So Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon is probably one of my most hyped games of this year, and they showed gameplay behind closed doors at the Summer Game Fest to some internet, some game journalists, but also some like YouTube personalities. And yeah, so we have two videos here. The first one is going to be no commentary 4K gameplay, because I thought it'd be good just to show what the game looks like without anyone talking about it. But then I found a video from Vidya. Is that what it says? Mm-hmm. I don't know who they are, but I've watched some of this video, and I think his breakdown of what he saw there met with the gameplay is very informative. And so we're going to watch that as well to get some firsthand experience of what they did see behind closed doors, because this is only one clip, and there's footage of the garage that they don't show in this. And so that'll be worth seeing as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I've already watched this, but I'm just so excited for this game. It's finally, we're finally getting an Armored Core, so I'm really stoked. Do you have anything you want to say?
I've been dodging this since I heard there was gameplay footage. So
yeah, I attempted to do it.
Assumed we were going to be reacting to it. Yeah,
I attempted to dodge it, but I was like, God, I'm just gonna get spoiled for me anyway, dude. I gotta watch it, and I know, like, over on TikTok, people would be adding me about, you gotta watch this, watch it. Like,
yeah, for sure.
So Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon gameplay with no commentary first. This is almost 4 minutes long, and 4 minutes, yeah 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, let's just restart the whole video.
YouTube quality changed its way. That was so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't think I was mentally ready for a boss fight yet.
Yeah.
So.
My first watch this, I saw the boost thing. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. That's what I've been waiting for.
It's so fluid. What the hell?
Yeah. It's such a bigger spectacle than you expect from a boss in an Armored Core.
Yeah, for sure. The movement is, because I watched someone last night. They were playing on Core 4, and it's still kind of sluggish.
It still maintains it though. There's a scene where he boosts up and lands, and he stops because he has to stabilize, and so it still feels robotic.
Yeah, except for this one's movement is insane.
Well, come down to what your build is.
Yeah, for sure.
The melee, did you see that? The multiple strikes? So fucking cool.
And of course, FromSoft are amazing at making maps.
Oh, yeah.
So, and environments. Oh, God, verticality. Weird.
Mm-hmm. One of the videos I watched said this is like the most vertical they've ever seen in AC. It already looks like that to me. Yeah, right there. See the way he landed and had to stood up, but he's obviously a different build.
I love the little the way the attachments look and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And the slide when he landed, just all these little details.
I think it's worth noting the last Armored Core I played was 3. I didn't play 4 or 5, so this is a big upgrade for me.
You didn't miss anything on 5. But 4 was fucking great. I loved 4.
These maps are crazy.
Mm-hmm. And this just looks like Armored Core, like the gameplay. Like, I'm fucking so happy about that. This is cool. He had a shield.
Yeah.
That you could pull out.
Oh, that's the dudes from Star Wars.
Yeah. That what, Droideka?
Yeah.
Yeah. The missiles look great, the way they move and stuff.
I already liked using missiles in the old ones too.
Yeah, same. Especially when you're dodging around and you can launch something at someone.
Yeah.
Launch pad.
Damn.
That's new. I fucking love that. He's yeeted, dude.
Yeah, that was awesome. Also love just the metal sound it made when he hit him.
He scans so you can see what's coming ahead of him. It's such a cool modern feeling Armored Core. Like it looks and plays, it seems like it plays like Armored Core.
I'll say it's nostalgic, but definitely new.
But it's like smooth and like just so much. It looks like it's going to be a much more pleasant gameplay experience. Not to say the old ones weren't. I love them. But
yeah, it just seems super responsive.
Yeah. But not too, because I don't want it to be just a third-person shooter where you're boosting around. I want it to be like you are in a mech. But, you know, these legs obviously are lightweight legs. They're giving him mobility. And then we saw with the other mech, he had the thicker legs. And so even when he landed, there was a bit of a stopping moment. Yeah. And when he landed, like when he was boosting, he slid when he landed.
Yeah.
And so they've put a lot of little details into just the movements, and they're gonna have to, because this isn't just like a Dark Souls game where like your character just has like different stats and different weapons. You're making your mech differently, and it's going to affect how you're going to be able to play. I do wonder what fighting a boss like this is going to be like with a chunkier mech.
For sure. I also I love the chicken legs there with the fins at the bottom too. Mm-hmm. But you're seeing like the boosters coming out of the calves there almost. Yeah. It's a lot of good detail.
Which, yeah, that's the thing too, is like everything's so detailed. Like it feels so intentional. But anyway, where we're talking about it, what did you think of the gameplay?
That was better than I was expecting it to look like.
That's what I thought. I was already excited, but I was like, that was better than I thought it was going to be.
It looks...
See, this I know people are weird about the Dark Souls thing, because this is not a Dark Souls game, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but it's definitely carried over. A lot of the things From Software has learned from what they've been making for the past whatever amount of years. And when this guy he's fighting is like pulling his blade up and then swinging with that tail, that's like, it reminds me of like a Dark Souls enemy.
Yeah, mechanics are going to carry through every game they ever make. Like that's just
something they just kind of learned from
they've learned attack animations and stuff like that. They're gonna use that that going forward. It's just the From Software touch at this point.
Yeah. But they have also come out and stated they don't want this to just be like a Souls-like game, and it doesn't look like one. It looks like Armored Core to me.
It's way faster paced than maybe not Bloodborne obviously or Sekiro, but not that I played Sekiro, but
the verticality and the strategy of like shooting missiles, swinging swords if you want to, or using Gauss rifles, or like shotguns, machine guns, and stuff like that. It's a completely different experience. And from playing all of the past Armored Cores, this does look like the gameplay I was looking for. So
yeah, I mean it looks great. Honestly, the only thing I need to see at this point, and you said it'll probably be in the next video, but is just the customization aspect of it, right? And then how many parts are going to be available. And I know this is an Elden Ring, but like Elden Ring had so much equipment in it that you could really just kind of like have your way, your choice or whatever.
I
hope that transfers into this game too.
I hope this game has a lot of customization parts, because the
particle effects are dope.
The older Armored Cores, I was very satisfied with all the parts you unlock. There's so many, and so if they can at the very least match that, I would be happy. But I want more, and if they can nail that, I will be very happy, because one of my favorite things about Armored Core is making my own mech and finally getting it realized in a way that is just fun to play and is more my style. Or even challenging myself and trying out mechs I typically wouldn't use. Like I would try to make like a big boxy ass just like missile boat mech that was like a lot of fun to use. But I typically am a more agile sword style mech user myself.
Yeah, usually at least in Armored Core 3 it's usually medium weight with of quite a bit of missile play. But even the slide, like when you're just on the ground strafing, your sparks flying, love it. So.
One thing worth noting, and they'll talk about in the next video, but there's a lock-on in this, and some people are kind of weird about it. I would say you don't have to use the lock-on, but I bet you will when you play the game long enough. But it doesn't bother me too much, because basically in the old Armored Cores, you would have to keep eyes on somebody to lock on to them anyway, or to keep shooting at them, because if you're looking at them, your gun would just be firing at them. This is just, one step removed from manually doing that, I guess, if you want to just lock onto them and think about the boosting aspect of movement. I know some people are drawing the comparisons to Dark Souls and blah, blah, blah. It's one minor thing, and I don't think it's a big deal. And like I said, if it's something you get to choose to do, choose not to use it then. If you don't like the lock-on. Even in Dark Souls, a lot of times I won't use my lock-on or Elden Ring.
Certain scenarios call for turning it off. So.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes boss battles, I'm like, I need to keep eyes on you because I need to focus on my mobility. So it might just be a tool to use. I haven't played the game, so I don't know. But
more tools isn't a bad thing. And like you said, it's a choice. You don't have to use it. So.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, what else? Anything else to say?
That's it. I'm just gonna gush. I mean, it looks great. So.
It looks fucking awesome, and I'm just so happy that it's exceeded my expectations, and it looks like Armored Core. That's the most important thing to me, because I know people are mixed on 5. I didn't like 5. I thought it was not good, and I think there's a reason why Armored Core stopped coming out after 5. It's because 5 was not great, but every Armored Core before that was fantastic, and so there's a look and feel to Armored Core. It's not just a mech game like every other one. It's the closest thing you're going to get to like a Gundam style like mech game or something. Like the mobility and the customization, it's all super important to the identity of Armored Core, and this looks like they are nailing that and improving upon it, and that's what you're going to want from a resurgence of something like this. This isn't a reboot. This is a continuation of the series, so it's important that they maintain all of those elements, and it seems like they're doing it, and I'm so fucking happy about that.
That lightweight one, did that do like a charging kick to that guy?
Where at?
It's right when he was it's earlier.
Let's see.
Not that guy. Little forward. It was like a little guy.
Let's see. Let's move on forward to see if he kicks the guy.
This guy. Right.
I think he did. I think I remember him doing that.
It looks like he's like dashing in and there's a kick. Maybe it's just the way he landed. But
I think it has a kick mechanic because we see it like 3 times in this video, which I think is cool. It gives you a melee ability, possibly, even if you don't have a sword. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, it was like with both feet, like a drop kick.
Dope.
That was really fucking cool. And then we saw the other one where he fucking yeets the dude.
Yeah.
Which is also very cool. But I thought I saw somebody else do it as well. Big old
clang sound effect.
Yeah. Oh no, it was the guy at the end. Let's see, where's that? Right there.
Yeah.
He just fucking gets the hell rid of him. Yeah, I love that. It's so good. It looks so satisfying. And even in this combat encounter, it looks like he kicks somebody.
It's also interesting the different types of kicks.
Yeah. Well, the leg types. Yeah, it seems like from the air with those other legs, you can do kind of like a downward drop kick, which I'm so for. Like using the weight of your mech to do damage on someone is fucking awesome. I think right here. Yeah, boom. He did like a check
that
almost.
Is so cool.
Yeah, looks fucking awesome. So, all right, so we're sold. Yeah, looks awesome. Let's hear some information on this. This is again from Vati Vidya. I'm sure you guys know of him. He's got millions of followers. 0.6. But I want to make sure I'm giving the credit to who made this video because it's 27 minutes, but it's very informative.
Oof, okay.
This is an extended look at Armored Core 6 in 3, 2, 1, go.
As you watch this brand new footage of Armored Core, and that is a very
what the fuck just happened?
As you watch this
set it manually
so
it doesn't do the auto shit.
No, but it jumped to the center of the video.
Armored Core
anyway.
Or Souls?
Even the way the upper
There's-
torso
there's
moves
a
when
bit
it's
of both
boosting
here,
looks
honestly.
awesome.
I recognize the three-dimensional combat of Armored Core. I've seen its familiar mission structure, its atmosphere, and the unrivaled customization potential that the mecha genre lays claim to. But finally, no one can deny that there is a lot of Souls influence in this. This hard lock-on is not traditional Armored Core. The pacing and the telegraphed attacks would not look out of place in a Souls game. Even the stagger system is basically Sekiro's. Now, there's a lot I could say right now, but
The Steam release.
I'm honestly
Mhm.
really tired of this whole debate, and I'd prefer to move on because
I'm also
there's
tired
now
of it.
so much more to talk about instead. So Bandai Namco has given me about 4 minutes of gameplay to share here today, but I've actually seen a lot more than this. Press were actually able to see a live demo of basically this entire mission. And you know the best part of that live demo? It's that unlike in this gameplay, the HUD, the heads-up display, was completely enabled. I paid a lot of attention to that, and while I don't have any footage of it, this is roughly what it looks like. Feel free to pause here, but I will break down this HUD more
that's
in
some
depth
effort.
later in
Yeah,
the video.
it's
so you
crazy
can
he,
understand it all.
tried to replicate it.
I don't know why they haven't just shown it. I think it's actually the most genius part about the game that I saw, and I can't wait to explain why. But right now, though, I guess I should just showcase the gameplay that I have been given. In this mission, it's our goal to infiltrate this huge facility. It's occupied by dosers, who are addicts, basically. They're people that have been using that substance that's called coral as a drug. But the facility is also occupied by a group of arms dealers who have this RAD logo, and it's their machines that repel your intrusion as well. In the showcase, From Software emphasized the multiple paths that you can take within the mission. You can sort of see those upper and lower paths here off to the left, and they lead to a bridge in the distance, but this player's build, at least, has very efficient flight capabilities, so they use that to take a more direct
Which is
approach.
awesome. I didn't think about that. Yeah, different
Obviously,
builds. You're going to get all through the map
vertical and
differently.
Horizontal flight is a big thing in this game. The energy consumption during vertical flight in particular reminded me a lot of the early generations of Armored Core. So you can fly upwards, but it's probably near impossible to achieve sustained vertical flight, which I think is a good thing as it stops you from flying over what is clearly more level design than Armored Core has traditionally had, which is amazing. One thing that does seem different though is it seems like you're way more energy efficient while flying and gliding horizontally in this game, which is something that seems to be partly enabled by the assault boost, which is basically a dodge boost that can be held for more distance and a continued overboost, so to speak.
Mobility is the name of the game.
Let me just pause here for a second. Did you hear that little beep? So we're now in range of those enemies down there.
Oh, it's meant to lock
If
on?
you could see the HUD, then you would know that our lock-on has just automatically jumped onto the closest one. Our missiles are now primed, and we're now in what I'm calling a soft lock-on state. In this state, we still have really free, unrestrained, unguided movement of our mech, and it seems the lock-on can be freely moved between enemies. This should be more familiar to Armored Core fans because it's closer to the way that lock-on has traditionally worked in Armored Core, where you're responsible for keeping enemies within your sights in order to shoot at them, and the lock-on kind of does its own thing. So if we fire our missiles now, which they do, you can see one missile fly off to each nearby enemy, stunning them and giving us an opening to dash in and take them out one by one instead. Except at some point,
See
the player
that,
locked on manually.
hitbox?
And now we've transitioned into what I'm going to call a hard locked on state. Now that the enemies are dead, hard lock finally falls off, but wait, there's more enemies up top, so the player goes up and commits to more hard-locked combat against them. And again, in this hard-locked state, we see a lock that entirely dictates the direction you're facing.
Love it
And
so much.
that is not how lock-on has traditionally worked in Armored Core. In fact, the absence of hard lock-on is, I think, actually a big part of what contributed to Armored Core's traditional identity. So instead, you'll recognize this lock-on state from Souls. But before all the Armored Core fans get upset by this, perhaps rightfully so, remember the genius kind of is that the soft lock-on state, the traditional lock-on state, still seems to exist. And I think playing with that
use it as a
lock-on
tool.
state will be viable, and it will give you benefits, although you're probably missing out by not hard locking on sometimes and allowing the player and their camera to be very bound to a single enemy and have your movement strafe around them perfectly instead. What's more, in this hard lock-on state, notice how all 4 missiles go to their single target here instead, as opposed to in the soft lock-on state where those missiles were spread evenly around the area to each
So it's a
enemy.
more dedicated lock.
That enables some really cool strategy, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
Speaking of strategy, this player's combat strategy seems to be to use their machine gun to stagger these smaller enemies. Enemy stagger bars are seen here, and they build up visually just like they do in Sekiro, and you can see the moment
Bro,
that
the
stagger
effort
kicks in here.
this guy has put in.
No, this video is great.
In this staggered state, they've said that enemies take a ton more damage, and that makes it the perfect time to hit them with all your burst damage, which this player does
Stagger
with
bars.
their barrage of 4 missiles. Or another thing you can do while the enemy is staggered is this.
I'm gonna do that all the
Yeet
time.
enemies
I feel so
far
confident
with
this game's
kick
gonna be
attack.
good.
Though
Like,
I
From
feel
Software's
this
just like
enemy
so in their
only
fucking
flew
prime
so
right now.
far
They're
because
like
it was already
seeing this.
staggered.
I'm like, yeah, dude, they got it.
In any other situation, the kick attack probably just builds up their stagger meter instead. Next clip. The gate was a major waypoint in the showcase, and it seemed to function a lot like a fog gate would in Souls, except when I watched, the player actually took about 10 seconds to hack open this gate. They were vulnerable the entire time they were doing that, and they even got ambushed during that process, so it's a cool way to sort of stop you from progressing too far. In
That is
Souls, you can just like
interesting.
run past everything, so it's kind of good that they stop you doing that here. But here they enter a tight corridor, and these in Armored Core traditionally force you to fight quite differently than you would have out in the open. Often in past Armored Core games, your missiles would become useless inside, especially if they're the type that fire upwards or outwards, and your long-range weaponry might not be as good either. So that's why it's a good idea to have some close-range parts to help you out in tight spaces, like shields now, or maybe melee blades as well.
That effect
Speaking
on
of
those
shields,
swords is
they've
so
actually
cool.
added something that I've always wanted them to add in Souls, and that's a timed block system. So what we know from interviews is that shields now have this brief moment when you deploy them where their defense is way stronger. It happens here. See that pulse when they pull it out? That should be a moment of optimal block, and that's obviously an
So it's a timing
incentive
thing,
to
yeah.
perfectly time your blocks against strong attacks rather than just keeping your shield active all the time. Next, melee weapons. You can clearly do multiple strikes with a lot of these, and having these preset animations makes me think that the blades might be exclusive to the left side, like they are in many previous Armored Core games, rather than being able to dual wield them, although I could definitely be wrong on that. Next we see the scan function for the first time. Enemies are revealed and can be locked onto through walls. I love this. Being able to peek ahead and think about your strategy is so much better than always being forced to figure things out on the fly. It enables planning based on your build,
Also, let's be
followed
realistic,
by
it's a frickin'
execution of
mech
that plan
full of
with
technology.
your reflexes
Yeah,
and coordination,
exactly.
and that is peak
And they're
Armored Core
also
tech.
machines, so you'd be able to
Speaking
scan
of
for that.
customization, though, next let's talk about build assembly in the garage, which is another huge design pillar of Armored Core. So here we thankfully get an overview of all of the part categories in Armored Core 6. Here are your 4 weapon slots, your 4 frame slots, and then your booster, your FCS lock-on part, your generator, and an expansion slot. This is fewer categories than most Armored Core fans will be used to. Inside parts, hanger weapons, radiators, those are all missing here. That said, the parts that we do see previewed here do have some great depth to them, so I think that might make up for having fewer categories. For example, your generator, which governs your energy, now has cooling built into it, rather than radiators being a separate part. And then certain weapons, like this laser dagger, can perform a charge attack, if held, which is a depth to the gameplay. We also see certain ranged weapons that have this charging property as well. And then there's missiles, which have unique attack characteristics, as they always have, but their descriptions here are more detailed than ever. Some are capable of multi-lock, which is when missiles fire at multiple targets, which I showed off earlier. Some missiles are better for AoE, creating a damage area. Some are better for staggering enemies, like these, which contribute greatly to build-up of ACS strain. And some missiles will just be great for taking out airborne enemies, like these, which are deliberately slowed down. Missiles hound targets during lengthy airborne time, enabling heavy pressure tactics. All these build considerations are such a fun, amazing part of Armored Core that I can't wait for people to discover. And if you're a new player, I think a lot of the time you will be able to get by simply reading these written descriptions. But the real endgame in Armored Core is learning to understand the complex stats and specs of each part, seen down here. Though, if you think these stats are overwhelming, I've got news for you. So, this is probably the simplified version. It reminds me a lot of Armored Core 4, where you were shown the most important stats on parts, but then you could toggle the display to reveal this. Yeah, so stats can get pretty intense, and while having a simplified view and glanceable icons is obviously the more modern approach, I really hope that they don't shy away from these overwhelming stats.
The menu looks so much better than the old game, but obviously it's been a while, so...
Right. In the showcase, the player actually accessed this garage mid-mission, after being destroyed by this quad-legged enemy. Their mid-range biped build was having a lot of trouble dealing any kind of damage to this enemy at range, so they wanted to change their build to an agile, close-range one instead. And they did it all manually, and it took less than a minute, and it was so convenient. Instead of having to do the entire mission again, they simply died, they loaded up the garage from the menu, they tweaked their build, and then they returned to the checkpoint that they had unlocked in their mission.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They were
You
back
can just switch that
with
out.
a different build completely. But as to the fight itself, there's actually so much to break down in this fight, but the main thing I really want to talk about happens here, where they finally stagger the enemy. Whereas in Sekiro, this would enable an execution on stagger, in Armored Core 6, it's up to you to fully deliver that execution. The enemy is now taking extra damage, so if you have burst attacks, now's the time. What's more, it seems you can prolong this staggered state with certain attacks, keeping them stun-locked with the right combo, potentially, which might give a really high skill ceiling to this whole process.
Especially because there's PvP separately.
If you listen
right?
carefully here, you can
believe so.
hear a narrator say,
Yeah, PvP
"All right,
is gonna be
tourist, that's enough."
sick.
That's because the enemy leader of this facility has been shit-talking you this entire time. The dialogue that I heard was witty and well-delivered, and that is a very welcome change from past Armored Core games. There was also some banter between this narrator and your own female operator, who is there to support you through your missions and warn you about what's ahead. And a main boss is ahead. But before this, in the demo, the player actually called a resupply drone, replenishing their health, their repair kits, and their ammo, and then it was time to fight this thing. A boss that has its own health and stagger meter that appears at the top of the screen. Its attacks are extremely well animated and telegraphed, and it has a ton of area denial and AoE, and it's just so well animated, and it looks like such a great fight. It also has 2 lock-on points, a weak spot at the front, and a shoot at the top, which I guess flying builds might be able to take more advantage of. I wonder how a slow tank build would deal with something like this, though. It seems like it would be hard to get distance and dodge with a tank, hey? Anyway, as promised, let me recreate the heads-up display in more detail, starting with the most important things. First up is your AP. Your armor points, or your health, basically, which was displayed numerically and with a slider around here. When the player took damage, this number and the slider would obviously deplete, and the screen would also distort a little bit, especially at the edges, which you can kind of see here. Then there was the energy gauge seen around here. This was depleted by things like flight, quick boosting, and I think melee as well. Of course, in Armored Core, how big this bar is determined by the capacity of your generator part, and how fast it depletes and recovers is determined by the energy output of that generator and the cumulative energy drain of all of your parts. Of course, the efficiency of your boosters will probably also play a part. Above it was a stagger bar. It was empty by default, but would fill up with orange from the center, just like this, whenever you took damage, and then it would deplete if you didn't take damage for a few seconds. The same goes for enemies. If you get staggered though, I think you just sort of pause for a couple of seconds, and previous interviews seem to suggest that you'll start falling if you're in the air as well. Next,
that's scary.
there was like a box here for the
more important
expansion
PvP, I
slot.
think, but yeah.
So extensions are a category of parts that have traditionally allowed you to do unique things like jam enemy radar or shoot down enemy missiles automatically. Sometimes these extensions were activated manually, sometimes they're passive, and they're like my favorite part category in Armored Core because they give a ton of character to your build. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure the demo had no expansion part equipped, so this box was empty. Next to it were 2 bars. One was a visual indicator for your repair kits, of which the player had 3. Armored Core has never had an Estus flask equivalent before, but it does now. These can be activated instantly to heal the player, and it seems they can be replenished at supply stations, which can be called in certain missions, apparently.
Okay.
Underneath repair was a bar that said scan. When activated to scan surroundings for enemies, this bar would take a little while to regenerate, and then it could just be used again. It wasn't long though, like 10 seconds between each scan maybe. On the bottom right were 4 familiar weapon slots. They showed your total ammo and your remaining magazine ammo for your left arm, left back, and right back weapons, respectively. This character has missiles on their right back, a machine gun on their right arm, a shield on its left back, and a blade on its left arm. Now, a recent interview stated that all 4 weapons are bound by default to all 4 controller triggers, and that all of your weapons can be fired at once, which is not how it's worked in any previous game. That sounds kind of insane, honestly.
Strike people.
Pretend you're holding a controller.
Be sick.
I cannot fathom, for the life of me, how you're supposed to fire all 4 weapons with your pointer and middle finger, and then doesn't that just leave your thumbs free for assault boosting and moving and interacting and changing weapons? Just your thumbs for all those actions seems very difficult. So I'm extremely keen to get a hold of a demo and see what the deal is here.
Just face roll.
There was a vertical speed
Also, I don't
gauge
think
on the left.
people are going to be doing that
what looked
too
like
much,
an altitude
especially if you're using
gauge
energy
on the right.
weapons. They're just
There was
gonna
even a
deplete
compass
your
at the bottom
shit
that was
quickly.
actually pretty cool because it had red dots for all of the enemies around you, which I assume would actually be pretty useful when helping to locate the enemies that are just outside your field of view. Then the mission objective was written top left, a waypoint marker was on screen for that objective, and killed enemy credit rewards would pop up on the bottom right. Of course, as mentioned earlier, the center of the screen features your fire control system, your lock-on, essentially. It's circular like it was in Armored Core 5, and while
Yeah,
you're
it looks
out of
like it.
combat even, it stays in the center of your screen, and it has these sliders that help you keep track of your remaining magazine capacity as you fire your left and right arm and back weapons, which I'm a huge fan of. So the UI is nice, it's super clean and it displays a ton of information, but it's this lock-on behavior that I think is the most fascinating thing about Armored Core 6 so far, and this is the part of the UI that I kind of love the most. So again, when you get in range of an enemy, this lock-on element jumps over to them, while the lock-on display itself starts to display that enemy's health and stagger meter at the top, in addition to your ammo in the bottom left and right. Inside the lock-on though, there's this little number which dictates how many of your missiles will go to this enemy should you fire them. Again, if you're soft locked on, that number will be split between nearby enemies, and if you're hard locked on, all of your missiles will go towards them. Additionally, the lock-on actually updates with an enemy's distance from you, which is extremely important information because staying at optimal weapon range is a really big thing in Armored Core. And it also shows little damage numbers which pop up as you pop off, and that's really important to give you visual feedback on the effectiveness of your range or the effectiveness of your weapon type. You want to know if you're dealing damage, and I always loved this feature when it was added in Armored Core 4, so I'm very glad to see that return. I even noticed some little enemy status words pop up around the lockbox, like unaware would pop up if the enemy didn't know you were stealthed, and ACS load limit, I think, popped up if you staggered them. So, this lock-on is doing a lot of heavy lifting in Armored Core 6, and I love it. I'm glad they've baked so much information into this UI because that is such a huge part of what Armored Core is all about, and what their design team deserves props for is the fact that they've baked all this information in while keeping everything looking sleek and unobtrusive. It's very clever design, and I hope they show off the HUD soon because I'm probably just butchering it in Photoshop now. I have so much more to say about this.
Yeah, at least you put the effort into trying to show it, though. I mean, it's a lot of info that you're giving that they didn't.
Get my hands on it if I'm lucky. In the meantime, if you're curious about Armored Core, then please check out my recent video where I show off every single old Armored Core game. And I think that video will just always stand as a way for you guys to learn a ton about the series if you don't have the time to play for yourself. And I had an amazing time playing all of the old games. But until next time, thank you for watching. I also want to say special thanks to Con from Bandai, Australia, for getting up at midnight to pass me this footage. That was so appreciated, and it's honestly half the reason I had enough time to edit all of this for you guys. So thank you, Con. And the same goes for Steven at Bandai and countless others who just enable these kind of demos and previews behind the scenes. Thank you. And if you're a content creator who couldn't get access, then you're more than welcome to react to this video and to this footage.
Thank you.
That helps somewhat. But thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.
And then we're back to where we were, so, with the last video.
Yeah. Yeah. There's menus, though, which we didn't see in the other video, but we did see in this video. With that information, I mean, I'm sure it only made it even better. The game looks fucking awesome. I can't wait to play this. His breakdown of the HUD, the UI, was very appreciated because it looks traditional, but I love that not the crosshair, but the center thing actually moves to your targets that you're locked on. So it's fucking cool. But anyway, what did you think?
I mean, really, I was kind of saying a lot where we were going, but you know, I think first off, his visuals really helped a lot. I think everything sounds good. I like when people are able to make a UI that is minimal but still gives you a lot of information. It seems like specifically with the lock-on part, they were able to pack a lot of information in there so that you don't have to necessarily glance at your corners constantly, specifically with like the left and right ammos being also available in a bar form on the lock-on, as well as in numeric fashion in the bottom right. And then, yeah, being able to see targets' health and stagger bars as they are the focus is a good thing as well. I think the most interesting thing that was said in this whole video that, you know, obviously was just kind of not something I was expecting was the difference between like a soft and hard lock for the missile play. I think he said it really well, adds a layer of strategy that you can use. So even if you don't like to play with a hard lock, you might want to just shoot all your missiles at someone. So a quick hard lock, shoot the missiles, unlock on, go back to the soft lock system for your normal combat stuff. It's just another tool that lets you, as he put it as well, strategize a little better. maybe you didn't want to shoot all 4 as you're entering, though in that case, they're trying to buy some time to get close.
Yeah, one thing in regards to talking about if it has a hard lock or not, and if that's AC or not. Beyond that, it's offering different ways to play at this point. It's not just a hard lock; it's also a strategy because, like you were just saying, you can put all your missiles in one person or hit a bunch of people. And I instantly, when he brought that up, thought of scenarios in my head of like, maybe you've played this game enough times, certain type of enemy types, and you come into a room and there's a dude that you want to take out quicker than the other people, or you got a sword set up and like you just want to like throw all your missiles into that dude and fly over and hit this guy. Or there's a bunch of like trash mobs that like I can kill these guys with my missile setup. I'm gonna hit them all. And then you can set it up for like, bigger AoE or doing more damage, stuff like that. It allows just more decision in combat than not having that system. So it does sound like it's only going to make combat better to use it. It literally sounds like they designed the hard lock to not be just used all the time because it does change the way the missiles hit people. So
yeah, especially when you're closing ground.
Yeah.
So no, yeah. Other than that, I mean, it was pretty much everything I expected to hear from it. Even having missed 2 versions of the game.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting that the one thing that carried over from 5 was that circular
circle.
Yeah, and I actually admittedly hated the way the HUD looked in Armored Core 5. I thought it was way too fucking cluttered. There's way too much shit on screen, and the way that they're doing it in this. It does look traditional on the outside, and the inside it's got that 5 thing, but I love how it moves to different things. That seems dynamic and useful, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, it seems like they put a lot of thought into providing you information without having to literally litter your screen. So
yeah, this whole game just seems like they really sat down and went, okay, we want to bring back Armored Core. How are we going to bring it back? And then they got the basics down. They're like, okay, how can we improve upon the things we've done before? And, when 5 came out, it felt like they were kind of at their wits' end of like, we've been doing Armored Core for a long time. Let's like make a multiplayer cooperative Armored Core. And they just weren't able to do it. Mm-hmm. Whereas this looks like they are really going back to basics and just trying to improve the formula. I wouldn't expect anything from modern From Software right now anyway, but it does not feel like it's let's say people want to play Armored Core and just make like a basic one. They are really thinking about this game and how to bring it back. It just screams that to me in every way. Everything just seems tweaked to make a more optimal modern Armored Core.
So I'm sure it's refreshing to be making something different anyway.
Oh, dude, it's got to be. Even that shield. In my head, jokingly, I was like, "Oh, they got shields, so you can just block stuff." Like, if you want to make the comparisons to another game, but it's got an interesting system. It's a temporary shield. You're dropping the amount of damage you're taking, but that first bit of when you pull it out blocks even more.
Block,
yeah. So if you time an attack right, someone shoots a missile at you or someone swings at you, you can get that perfect block and then continue to block, for whatever percentage. That sounds
assuming if
awesome.
You even decide to equip the thing. So.
Sure, yeah, exactly. And that's the beauty of it is like you're building out your mech the way you want to build it. I can imagine just a missile boat guy on tank treads with that thing just taking rounds with a chain gun, unloading at somebody and just firing missiles into them. That would be awesome. I wonder if they'll have like dome type shielding as well. But I can't wait to get my hands on building the mechs because that's going to be the most fun part of it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to say? Mm-mm. I kind of just hopped in because you start talking about things. I was like, oh yeah, that looks awesome. That sounds awesome. Yeah, I already kind of said everything looks amazing. I can't wait to play this. It just seems like everything is just dialed in a way that really, really tells me From Software is like, we're going to bring this back and we're going to really try to please everybody in terms of like the AC fans, which I'm one of you guys. So when people are like, the AC fans don't like the hard lock, I was skeptical about it too because I was like, that's not really a Armored Core thing. But the way that they're doing it is smart. It feels like a new thing for Armored Core and a useful thing in Armored Core. But yeah, all this stuff was really interesting too. It's interesting that they're getting rid of two types of equipment. At first I was like, oh, that kind of sucks because that's less things to tinker with, but that it's been kind of like, he wants to deal with like, cooling and stuff like that. Now it's just kind of part of the equipment you are equipping. And so it just sounds streamlined to me. As long as there's plenty of items to unlock and fuck around with, that's all that's going to really matter. The weapons look fucking awesome. I also, sadly, am really excited to, because I'm looking at all this, I'm like, it's all just gray, but you got to paint it. And so that's going to be really cool to really customize your mechs and give them your own personal touch. I can't wait to go through the weapons. They're so varied in the older games, and I feel like there's going to be even more now, unless they can't deliver a huge amount of content. But like Elden Ring has so many weapons in it, so much equipment. It was such a pleasure to just explore every nook and cranny and always find something new that I was like, what the hell's this? And I like try it out. I'm like, that's fucking cool. I'm not going to use it, but that was really cool. Yeah, I don't know. This game looks awesome. It's easily, unless it comes out and sucks, and I just can't imagine From Software right now releasing anything that sucks. That'd be really weird. But it's gonna be like my top 3 games of the year. I can already tell. It's got that excitement in me right now that just I feel like I have to play it. This and like Alan Wake 2. There's just so many games coming out. But yeah, this looks awesome, and I just want to shout out, he doesn't need the shout out, he's got fucking millions of subs, but this Vadi Vidya guy, great video, great breakdown, very informative for somebody who didn't get to see it behind the scenes. You really translated a lot of what you saw with your eyes into data that we can use to understand what we're getting into when they didn't show it, especially the work with the HUD. That was really cool that he even did that, so very appreciated. Also, I'm happy that he's okay with people using this video, because people are gonna anyway, so I'm glad he's supportive of that. Looking back, that looks like Dark Souls or Demon Souls to me. The same engine almost. It's really interesting in retrospect to look at this, because Demon Souls also had very basic squared menus, and it's just black background character that it's so weird to see in retrospect. Yeah, I'm not going to gush anymore. The game looks amazing. I cannot wait to play it. It just looks better than I imagined. And the animations, which I didn't expect to be this good looking, it's just takes it up another notch. It just looks high quality.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially for rebooting a game they're not sure people are going to love, even though I've argued for a long time From Software could sell you anything right now and you would pick it up because of the name. It seems like they're putting the love and care into it that it fucking deserves, and I'm so happy about that. So, yeah. Anything else?
No.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think about Armored Core 6. Are you excited? You're not excited? What stood out to you the most? What features are most exciting to you? What about equipment? What kind of mech do you like to build typically? I like agile ones with swords. My old setup was a sword, some kind of machine gun I can put ammo into somebody as I'm moving around because I want to keep them busy. And then sometimes I'd have like one missile pack on my back in case they're more mobile as well. But very basic. I just wanted a lot of mobility. But yeah, and then Josh would always play like a big tank tread, like...
I just did like a medium build. Usually had missiles on one shoulder and the long rifle that would fold out from your shoulder or whatever. I use that a lot. And then, yeah, I think you pretty much should always have a sword when things get close to you. And then,
but in this one, it seems like you're not going to have to if you can kick.
Well, yeah, and I'm thinking also just from the fact that a lot of Armored Core 2 and 3 at least, a lot of the gameplay was the arena part of it, where you just went up the ladder in the arena, and so having kind of a toolkit to fight different types of mechs is more well-rounded is usually my style. So
yeah, I don't know if they're gonna have an arena in this, but I would love if they had one, because I love just going through and finding the different mechs and the different pilots and stuff. It was so fucking cool.
Could be a DLC later. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully this game is gonna be the best selling Armored Core ever, just because From Software is just like so big now. But I hope it's received well, and I hope they support it, because that'd be really fucking cool. I would love to get more content for an Armored Core. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Let us know what you're thinking about in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this episode of Tasty Cast, episode 188. And thank you for joining me, Chevy, for this. It's a long one, but well-deserved episode, since we haven't done one in a while. And I've been Seth, and thank you guys for joining us for this. And we'll roll the outro. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of TasteCast 188. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on our streams and socials. Links down below, although I only stream on YouTube now, so you've been warned. I am thinking about Kick, though. Should I do that? Let me know. We have a Discord link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us in audio form. We have a Patreon if you'd like to support the channel even more than liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you're brand new. And I have a TikTok if you'd like to see my weekly shorts where I cover things a little more in the moment and topical and short form. So if you want more from what we do here, check out my TikTok. There's a lot of good stuff there. And I think that's everything. Until the next episode, have a good one, guys, and take it easy.